Simple steps, don't become the slave. Mindless following the rest of the pack. Look for approval before you act. I got a brain and I got a choice. Before they fuck me, I'ma use my voice. One honest voice in a world full of liars, 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 liars. The people that speak their mind are the people I admire. One honest voice in a world full of liars, 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 liars.
I want to welcome everybody to the intro podcast of Metal Beer and Bullshit. And I guess we'll jump right into it, and we're going to talk a little bit about what the show's about. So the main focus of the show is going to be local, small label metal bands, punk bands, hardcore bands, album reviews, and at some point we'd like to get in and do interviews. I'd like to get into the behind the scenes of music, kind of booking, promotion, recording, and all the bullshit that goes along with that, merch, touring, etc. I mean, we got a couple hardcore road dogs here. They can tell us a little bit more about that end of it. I want to do beer reviews, and we're going to bullshit a lot. I mean, this four fucking guys here, some of the biggest...
to be our forte.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bullshit.
The biggest bullshitters in the East Coast, I think.
That's a big. That could be a crown we could all wear. Certainly.
Absolutely.
I was told we were going to sit here and talk about, politics.
Fuck off. So,
didn't your grandparents ever teach you religion and politics? It's not nice to talk about unless you want to talk about burning churches.
That's cool. That's black metal. Okay, so before we get off the rails here, let's go ahead and get into introductions of the hosts here. I'm Sean. I just wanted to do a podcast, and I just happen to know three of the best dudes around to do it, and that's it. So let's kind of move it along here.
I'm Juan, and I got asked to do the podcast with Sean, and I would gladly do it, and I'm here, hanging out, and of course, hanging out with Bob and Big Nose.
Let's get a little bit of your history, too, with the music and what you do now.
Man, it's not like you aren't, privy to the scene.
You have some
Mr.
you have some
Garcia.
mileage
a little
on there.
bit. I played with Borderside and Caustic, and Bob and Big Nose played in the bands here.
Oh, yeah,
And
right.
now I tattoo and hang out and create vibes, and we're gonna shoot some shit here. Is really what we're gonna do. So.
And I gotta add that we've all been friends for a very long time. I've known Juan since school, and then I've known Bob since just out of school, and I knew Big Nose since not too long after.
And I grew up with these. This is Bob here. I would be the youngest sitting at the table, and I grew up around these maniacs.
Wait, since you are the youngest, get over there to the kids' table.
Oh my god! see, you see what I deal with. But anyway, these guys have, in one way, shape, or another, kind of guided me down paths in life, and part of the reason I'm sitting here is the three gentlemen that I'm sitting here with. So I think it's quite fitting to be here for myself, and I'm glad to be doing it with these dudes.
What band are you in?
Well, we're called American Speedway. We don't exactly fit the metal in the metal category, but it's if you like Motorhead with a chick playing guitar who wails harder than most dudes, check it out.
Yeah, when you said it doesn't go with the metal of this, I'm like, you're full of shit, because it is very Motorhead. And that's what drove me to them.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That last album, I fucking love it, dude. I just jam it all the time. It's in constant rotation with me. All right,
Thank you.
you're up.
I'm John,
Big
a.k.a.
Nose.
Big Nose,
Whoop,
BN. I bring to the table 30 years of being in a band. If anybody needs my resume, I was in going from the early days to now. Go ahead.
Rotted old toenails. Oh no, rusty old tire iron.
Yeah. A band called Rot, and then eventually later, they were horrible. Eventually later, I jammed with Juan here in a Borderside. Then a little bit after that, I started my own band called Divination, and I did that for 22 years straight. And then in the time of that, I was also doing another band called Fatal Aggression, who they're celebrating their 30th anniversary this year.
It's only 30.
Only 30.
Wow.
Other than that, I did a fanzine many years ago with Bob here. One called Today's Underground and another one called Morbid Voice. Help out with the local bands and band scene. I've known these guys pretty much my whole entire life, it feels like. So, what's next? And I drink a lot of beer.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Yes.
So let's
Lots
get
of
into.
beer. Also, I'd like to add that
Oh.
that John has probably the largest compact disc and just recorded music collection I've ever fucking seen in my life. And I've seen some wing-dinger of record collections, CD collections, and if we could add visuals to this thing one day to get a view of John's collection.
We'll have to get a
we'd
picture of it
stack-
along with that Kiss collection.
We'd like to.
I have some of
I'd
that
like
on my
to
phone.
see, viewers, if you're on the podcast page, take picture. If you have a large music collection, take pictures for us, because I'd actually like to put it to apples to apples with John's. 'Cause
See whose
I'm
is bigger?
Yeah, either your collection or his nose.
This is definitely a size competition, and I want to see how you all stack up to John.
Here's something I know Juan knows, but I don't know if you two know. I also made a metal trivia board game a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
yeah.
never put it out. If you ever want to get into the board game or gaming industry, just stay in a band, because it is 30 times worse trying to work with those people. But yes, I made a metal trivia game.
That's awesome. I did not know that. I think we need an episode where we play this game.
We could do that.
Yeah, we could just do an episode of playing board
That's
games. I'm
right.
sure everybody want to fucking hear that. So anyway, let's move along a little bit, and we are on promo lists, so we get lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of music. So
And lots.
part of that, what I'm getting at, is that we're going to review a lot of these bands as well as local bands. I would really, part of my vision with this was pushing local bands as well. So why don't we jump right into some of the bands that we've all been listening to and reviewing? And
Can I just jump in on that?
Sure.
Local bands right now, Bob, you've been in the scene, on today's page with it.
Certainly.
Berks County, and I'm kind of a little bummed at this, is really lacking of late. There's not a lot of newer bands. There's not a lot of bands in general. A lot of them broke up. And it's painful, because there is a very rich hard rock metal, just dare I say, heritage.
Certainly. No,
This county has had some really good bands, and right now we are at the all-time low. I'm not saying the bands that we have suck. I'm just saying we don't have a variety of them.
No, especially when you think back to back in the day when you had bands. Do you remember Dave Hawes' sister was dating a guy? Was it Witchery?
Yeah.
Witchery was around. I mean,
Yeah,
that's back when I
Witchery.
was in junior high school.
Yep.
You had Concussion, Threnody, Sarcoma, and then of course Boardicide and Rot, and Vicious Circle.
Vicious Circle
was
just got back
coming
together
here, yeah.
again.
Oh,
Well,
really?
I think they took a little hiatus, but I know they got a new drummer. And
for people that don't know, these are bands just in our local area.
Vicious Circle's
like
from
here.
Jersey,
Yeah,
but I mean, more
But
or
they-
less in the
they
they
play a lot of-
But
Eastern-
they
yeah.
would always be at
yeah, they come up
Virginia's.
here.
right?
Yeah, they were local by
Association.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the fact that they played Vicious Circle played a ton around here.
Yeah.
If I could piggyback really quick off of what you said, John, I certainly agree. The talent pool in Berks County, as far as musicians goes, we're and for those who aren't familiar with Berks, we keep saying Berks County. We're a tiny little county, southeastern Pennsylvania, probably I'd say an hour northwest of Philadelphia.
Yeah. An hour from Baltimore.
Yeah,
5 from Pittsburgh.
we're
4-hour
not
flight
considered,
from Puerto
we're not a
Rico.
metropolis.
Nobody
Reading,
cares about
Pennsylvania
that.
is like, kind of, Reading is the city for Berks County. That's our big
Just
city.
joking.
And, I've grown up. I was fortunate enough, again, I'm the youngest one sitting here. So I had these 3 dudes dragging me around. I was, young teenager, and was fortunate enough to have these gentlemen taking me to shows back in the day. Whether it be
Shout out Leeway.
yeah. Leeway at Unisound was my first show in 90, 91, I think there. and you know that was the tip of the iceberg for me. But since then, I mean, the talent pool we have in this area is actually amazing for where we're located. And I won't get into the ugly, you know, of why these bands have broken up or why they didn't last, because we all know what that bullshit is. That's, you know, that's
it's called
stuff.
life.
Right, it's personal stuff, and you know how that works. But we've been, I agree with you, it could be better. We've been very fortunate at times where there have been an overabundance of amazing bands with amazing people playing in them. But I'll agree with you. Currently, there's almost a void. If I'm going to say this about, I'm going to name drop Little Hawk Stoyer. That dude, you know, I'm just getting to know him personally, to be honest. But you know, that's one stand-up dude, and if you could say that's one dude who almost single-handedly is like kind of pulling the, you know,
he's pulling the weight.
He's throwing the scene on his back. I mean, I just saw him post on Facebook the other day
about a show.
He
He's
does
doing
house
shows. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and this is commonplace, and this is the kind of shit that builds a scene back.
Well, you know, we don't have the venues around here anymore either.
Right.
You don't have Unison. You don't have Silo.
Indeed.
You don't have Virginia's. You don't have...
We have one in it. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, but they, you know, it's a very large venue, and they tend to do larger shows, but they also make the bands do ticket sales, which... Bob, you've been in that boat.
I don't do that. I don't do. I'm sorry. I'm you know.
But you've done them.
Yeah,
in the
you
past.
got no horse in this race, do you?
Oh, you never?
No, I honestly, and I'm literally like, I don't mean to
lucky
like raise
son
my
of a
fist,
bitch.
but I'll be honest. My band
Put his foot down.
My band, and not just me and my band. The you know, there's the singer guitar player for my band is, you know, he's, you know, the captain.
Right.
And there's no fucks given on who that show is played with or where it's played. If we got to sell tickets to play the show, we won't do it.
Right.
And that's a matter of principle. I'm not shitting on anybody who does do it. Hey, if you feel you can, you know, if you feel you can make that work for you, more power to you.
Now, the one thing that I want to touch with that, because I do feel like I kind of said some bad things. I'm not saying that they make you sell tickets. When I say make you sell tickets, there's another club up in Easton, and the guy that books that place, every independent band has dealt with him and hates him. He makes you buy the tickets.
Didn't Municipal Waste move their show from
just because of dealing?
Venue?
Yeah, I won't even give that guy
in Lancaster.
Yeah, I won't even give that guy the benefit of saying his name.
Yeah,
Not the dude that's been around for years, is it?
John Doe.
That's
No. Hey!
I believe it's James.
No.
Because I know he's still doing shows too a lot.
Yeah.
Up at some place in Allentown.
He was doing a place called Jabberjaws, but
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say it, but go ahead.
Yeah.
I actually played one of his shows about 2 years ago. We opened, the band I was with, we opened for Oi Street Punk Legends Menace, who are still around. And I think that was one of the few shows where we did not have to sell tickets to play.
But yeah, Reverb doesn't make you buy them outright, like this other jackhole does. So, saying that, we only have this one club, and it kind of, I personally believe, because we only have this one club, there is no competition to get to that club and playing the smaller places like we did in a day with Virginia's and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's really what's hurting the Berks County music scene in itself, is that there's only one place to play.
And it's too big.
Yeah.
Let's face it, the dude's not, and I don't mean this in a bad way, he's in it to make money. He's not pushing the local scene as much as, like, say, Jake used to from New Sound, and even the Silo. I mean, I guess because that was what Frank... Well, and Frank is on my short list of people I would love to get on this, by the way.
Okay.
Because I'd love to hear some of the shit that he has to talk, like just behind the scenes stuff,
right?
And
just stories in general. Frank is
he's just the nicest dude, man.
And he's a ginormous part of our local scene. He's been around for as long as I can remember. I mean, I remember like 89, 90 getting 3 from 4 or 4 from 3, whatever that demo was from Mythophobia. over at what the hell was the name of that?
Record Rev.
No, the skate shop over.
Oh, the one down there in
on Lancaster Ave. Yeah. But anyway, the gentleman we're speaking of, Frank has done more, or tried, I will say. He's attempted to do more for this scene than probably anybody. And, that's, me, I'm not quick to hand out
and always
superlatives.
Even to this
always.
day, he's still like
always.
pushing and pulling. And
so Frank, if you're listening,
one of the most...
this is Bob, and here's the ups that maybe I haven't given you over the years. You straight up, much respect. You've done literally more than any other promoter. And not just promoter, he's had his band involved in stuff, and he's kept Anthrophobia relevant for 30 some years.
Dude, a long time. Dude, my first metal show was Anthrophobia, Arandaru, and Gangrene at the Silo.
We talk about that all the time.
Side note, Ian Lillis, if you're listening, there you go. Sean Klein was at that show.
Well, that's something that me and Frank talk about all the time is which one of us geriatrics are going to fall first? Is it going to be Anthrophobia? Is it going to be Fatal? Because they're both about the same age. And I think Fatal has them by... With the Anthrophobia retirement, Fatal has them by about 2 years. So it's... I don't know the exact dates on everything, but yeah, I think Fatal's still just a little bit older than Phobia.
Well, just a little bit to tie that in, even with my history with people, I was in class in junior high school with Pete and Rich Roth, who was the original singer of Fatal Aggression.
Here come the clowns.
Grew up two blocks down the fucking street from Jay. So we're just a tight little community in this area.
Yeah, that is the one cool thing about Berks County is, especially back in our day, when a new band started, you knew everybody in that band.
Certainly. Certainly, because all of us metalheads knew each other.
Yeah.
And even if you weren't like, the in-betweens, the guy, like kids like me who were into a little bit of everything.
And there were some dicks, let's face it. There were some dicks in some of those bands. There's one band I can name now. We've seen some of the guys at the Slayer show that were some of the biggest dicks in the county.
That's just how it works. I mean, I think that.
But by and large, most of those guys were awesome, dude. I went to school with Dave Hawes too. Torment.
It never stopped anybody from going to the band practices and hanging out, you'd go to everybody's band practice and just watch them play and practice.
Because we were all who we were.
How many times before we jammed together? Did we I would be at the Borderside practices, whether they were at
in Derek's garage.
I was gonna say the first rendition of a Borderside, I was a fixture, and once they were at once John here started playing drums for him, I was up in his attic with these guys, and that was a huge part of me getting started. I was a late bloomer compared to some of the rest of these guys. I don't think I started playing drums till I was 14.
One of the things that is kind of like, I say it was the downfall in all of Berks County music was as soon as Wood Street burned down. Wood Street was a huge warehouse, would you call it? A factory?
Yeah, warehouse.
And it at the peak of it, there was 30 bands practicing in there, and they would all set it up that there would be like, I wouldn't say, it was kind of like a block party. You just everybody had their door open, and you'd go in and sit down at this guy's couch and watch this band play, and then come out and go to the next one, and so on and so forth.
It was very cool, actually. Hindsight, is always 20/20, as they say, I mean, if I recall correctly, it was referred to as the warehouse. That's where, hey, we're going to the warehouse tonight. And you're right, man. Like, I can't, it's funny you bring that up, and it just, a well of memories just rushed into my brain. And
you could walk out of a thrash metal practice to a hair metal practice to a hardcore band to a punk band, back over here to just a metal band. And then you'd go outside and stand on the curb, smoke a cigarette, and wait for a pizza to show up, and, somebody's wheeling a keg in, and you're just walking from room to room, drinking beer, hanging out with everybody there. It was
we were all 21.
Of course.
Break walls.
Just like out of Heasters, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't like to talk about Heasters.
A lot of bad things would happen at Heasters.
Only a couple.
But honestly, nobody had the best practice place than a Borderside at the old firehouse. When you could hear gunshots while you were out smoking a cigarette in the worst part of town on Schuylkill Avenue in Reading.
Yeah, it was sketchy.
That was
sketchy.
And some of the creepiest motherfuckers used to show up there. Remember that dude that used to videotaping himself puking and then watch it later.
Yeah.
Some creepy fucking dude showed up there, man.
Who the fuck was that?
I don't even know, dude. It was they're just creepy as fuck. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So we kind of skipped ahead to the bullshit
Yeah, we did.
session.
That was sort of introduction.
But you know what? That was a lot of fun.
Indeed, and that was, I don't know, that's kind of introduction. You know, that was.
But that's us.
That's
I mean,
what-
this
right.
this is us. This is
This
who
is what
we
you're
are.
going to
This
get
is our
every time we
history,
do
and-
this.
Yep. I mean,
And we all have a long history. I mean, you're talking
Certainly.
probably 30 years of history.
certainly.
You know, with me and Juan for sure because of school, and then Bob's in there and John's in there, and I mean, we've all been around a long time, especially in the music scene. I'm the least talented of the bunch. I have absolutely zero music talent whatsoever.
You're the glue that holds us all together, Sean.
Yeah,
Don't
but
discount
you're
yourself, brother.
I'm the
driven-
wind beneath your wings. Don't
You're
you forget
driven
it.
without
are.
having an instrument attached to you.
And
Like,
and you know what?
you have
Everybody,
more.
every band needs
That's-
that
that's
one
more
person
talent.
that does that.
Indeed.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you can always hide behind your instrument and just play, but you're
right.
there because you love it and you're a part of it. And
Yeah, and people actually liked you. Like,
Yeah, 'cause-
I know people didn't like me, but they needed a drummer. So, you know,
I mean, I
that's
even
how it worked.
I
a lot of
roadied for
times.
Rot because I had a backstage pass. I think I roadied for one show for Rot, and of course with Borderside, I was at every single show they ever did and carried shit for them, including people's basements, and stealing
Regurgitated old
stuff.
turtles.
Regurgitated old turtles. I like that one. Rusty old tire iron.
So
was
we'll have to
still
get
great.
Mike on the show sometime too.
What did it really stand for, John?
It was just rot. Just rot.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, how boring. No wonder we came up with other stuff.
Yeah. Well, originally we were the name Chronic Infection after a pestilence song.
That's right. That's right. See,
And- What happened? And what happened was we
Adlica?
back in the day. Back in the day, how you found out if somebody had this band name was you looked in the albums that you liked at the thanks list, and every thanks list had 50 bands in there. And
At least.
yeah, shit. There's a band called Chronic Infection. So, if I'm not mistaken, it was the Obituary Slowly We Rot album that I found this. I'm like, son of a bitch. And I threw the cover down and went, Rot. That's going to be the name, Rot.
got it.
right, so you didn't say, "Oh my God, they thanked us." This is amazing.
We're on the obituary record. No big deal.
Yeah. You know what? The first time, though, when one of my bands was on back in the time when your band got thanked on another person's record, but it was a CD, and that was like this is how old we're going
This
back
is when
here.
compact discs were like
They
the
were
new
called
hotness.
Yeah, they were called compact disc at the time.
They had these big long
8-tracks.
boxes, cardboard
Yep.
boxes they came in.
And the first time, I think Insanity was the first one I opened up, and I was like,
Ooh, I
like,
remember. them.
Godless, yes! Godless became Divination.
I do remember Insanity. They were actually really, really good. Y'all played with them a bunch
Oh,
of
yeah,
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
Who?
hold on.
Borderside or Caustic?
Insanity, were they a Lehigh Valley band?
No, they were a Philly, Jersey band.
That's
South
it.
Philly.
That's it.
They
Where?
Ince Angel, that's who I was thinking.
Ince Angel, yeah.
That's who I was
became
thinking.
PP&G.
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
because didn't you used to play with them up at Scarlet's?
yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually in a band with one of the guys who was in Ince Angel. A band called King Bison.
Yes, yeah. I played them once.
Yeah, the singer guitar player.
Yeah.
This is
He was
like
an
the
Ince
trivia,
Angel.
Berks
Yeah.
County
And
metal trivia
PP&G.
game
I didn't know
happening
until I
right
started
now.
jamming with them.
There's a lot of things
It came
coming
up.
back
It was
here.
really crazy.
We played with them. It's now Liberty Ale House, but it was called Bar on the Avenue.
Yeah.
And dude pulls up in a pickup truck and he goes, "Hey, you were in a Borderside at one time." I'm like, yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, I was in Ince Angel." I'm like, hey. So yeah, it was. And it's funny because when you see like, Jesus Christ, us old.
You fucked it all up. It's over now.
Us old Berks County heads, when you run into somebody that you played with 30 years ago, they go, "Hey," and you remember every single show that you did with them.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, when I jamming with these dudes, I just moved back from Maryland. A quick story about it. I just moved back from Maryland to Pennsylvania here, and my goal was insert myself back in the local scene here, and I have many reputations around here. Some of them not so great, some of them whatever. But one of them is I became a pretty solid drummer who can fit into
Pretty much any band that.
yeah, if you need someone quick. But anyway, long story short, I started jamming with these dudes, and we're at practice one night, and he mentioned that he was from the Lehigh Valley scene back in the day. And I said, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I brought up, I was like, oh, yeah, I used to go to, the Acorn shows up there. Remember? Yes. Okay, to tie it back to Skippy there.
Yeah.
I said, oh, the Acorn shows, Grave, Pungent Stench. I mean, how many other bands did we see there?
Oh, my God.
I mean,
Grave played up there.
Yeah. Grave played in this place that was probably the size of a broom closet.
Wasn't that the Acorn?
Yes, that was the Acorn.
And I still haven't seen them.
You didn't?
Like,
you were not there?
No,
I've never
show?
seen.
Oh my God, that
I know us
show
three
was
were at that show.
insane.
You were the only one not there?
No.
Because Ince Angel played, or were they just started being PP&G then?
Yeah.
Because Chris, the kid from the guy who I jammed with.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I mentioned the Acorn shows, and I was like,
Dysphoria was on that bill.
Oh,
I think I
yeah.
might have been in Virginia at that point because I had left.
oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
you
think
might
much
have.
of
that was mid '90s.
It was on the
Yeah, you weren't around. You weren't
Solus
around us
album.
anymore.
I
It was
wouldn't.
Solus album.
Yes, they were on tour for that.
But I used to
Once
live near
again, how do I
Jack's,
remember
so-
this shit?
But anyway, like I bring up the Lehigh Valley shows, Acorn Grave show, and he's like, "Well, my band played that." And I look at this dude, because we're playing, with what we were currently playing was like, I don't know, clutch bluesy influenced, like stoner rock, if you will. I mean, I really don't know what the hell to call it. And I'm talking to this, what the fuck band? Your band played that fucking show? You were around? He's like, yeah. You ever hear Ince Angel? I was like, and I went from like thinking this guy was, kind of a whatever, good guitar player, kind of a weird dude, but whatever, to like, holy fucking shit, like your band used to be like, we used to like kill your band. And then, like I said, they went from Ince Angel, that was, like I said, the mid 90s when a lot of the metal band, the death metal bands were going to, the very Pantera-esque groove,
hardcore-ish.
Yeah, more, floor punching and, picking up change kind of stuff. And it was just, again, I guess what the point is kind of what this whole section of the show is about is full circle stuff, and the scene changes, but the people, if they're true, they're still in it somehow, some way.
Right.
And that's how, four dudes end up sitting around a table, slamming beers, talking about the mid 90s, early 90s, and the shows we've been to and the places our bands used to practice. And
again, this is all just to give you guys a bit of a baseline as to like our history together and
that
what we did. And
I just didn't walk in off the street.
Yeah, right.
Right.
I mean, I promise, like next episode 2 we'll stick a little bit more to what we're going to do, but this is just to give you guys a bit of an introduction to us and who we are. And
I gotta say, Juan's sitting over there quiet, and then
touching some pussy over here.
he is. He's got both hands.
He's rubbing
He's got
pussy.
2 hands in a pussy right now. You wouldn't
Hairy
even believe
pussy.
it. But
Like
like
70s pussy.
like
all hair.
Juan's sitting over there, and like Juan's a humble dude. You'll get to sort of. He's humble about his stuff.
I
But
hear
this
these
dude-
memories. It's just like great to. They come right back instantly.
It
But
is, yeah.
like wait till I start whipping out the memories with you, my man. Like.
Whoa. Is we talking about that video
not your
again?
band camp. Not
Again,
your band camp
it's
story.
only gay if you like it. God,
You can't
right
talk
away.
like that
Don't be
anymore.
jealous. Don't
One
be jealous.
flew up
'cause-
your ass and you got to talk about it the
yeah,
rest of your life.
don't be jealous because me and Juan had some special times. I mean,
Hey, you can't talk like that anymore.
but no,
these days. I'm offended.
It's like I said, this is full circle. We're sitting here talking. One memory is feeding another, and but this is why you're going to be hearing us review our music. And hopefully, maybe we were just discussing this before we started going on air here. We're trying to give you a little background on us, so maybe you as a listener or a viewer or whatever can be like, oh well, I relate to Sean, or I relate to John really well, or whatever the case is. And when we review some records,
Big nose.
bigness, BN.
Yeah, Juan gets a bit offended when you call him John.
Yeah,
So
sorry,
stick
it's not
with
John, it's
Big Nose.
BN.
I
I'm
got
trying
a
to be
whole
polite.
text about that while I was in New Orleans. So.
Dude, I mean, see, there's no video, but if I could show you, you don't even have to say it. If you're with us, there's a sign. It's like, and you know who we're talking.
There it
about.
was.
And that was from a dearly departed friend. And
Rest
his,
in peace.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to, but we all, that was a man who connected all of us. And,
Yeah. Yeah, he was the glue.
Gone, not forgotten, dude. Always know that. We love you, brother. And but yeah, that was started by a dear friend of ours who, like I said, is no longer with us. But if you could see what we're, it's you don't even have to say BN. You don't have to say Big Nose. You just
got to make the gesture.
Oof. And you know who we're talking about. But yeah, hopefully maybe, listen to this bullshit, you'll be like, oh, hey man, I kind of dig how that dude thinks. And so if he's into that music, okay. If he says that's cool, I got to check it out. Or maybe you don't like this dude and you're like, hey, Bob's full of shit. If he says this music's good, I'll throw it right in the fucking garbage can.
And by all means, call him out on the Facebook page. Which
Yeah.
you'll get all that shit later.
Yeah,
but
please.
by all means, call him a dick. He
Yeah.
likes it.
Yeah, all of us.
He's a punk drummer.
Yeah,
No, not all of us.
I don't give no fucks.
No, I don't like being called a dick.
I could care less. I get spit on. People spit on me that's what they do at shows.
I was gonna say, that's what you do at punk shows.
They
You spit on
throw
people.
they throw empty beer cans at me as well. Sometimes not empty, which fucking sucks, by the way.
Yeah, but that has a positive side to it, because at least there's a can of beer.
Not when it hits you in the head while you're trying to play and it's half full of PBR. Fucking sucks. Just gonna say. But you play on.
PBR, by the way, high fructose corn syrup for sweetener.
Don't
Just
care.
keep that in your mind.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care. I'm
The nutritional part of the show.
yeah, sorry.
I gotta put some educational in.
Personally, I'm over the PBR stuff. I only my shitty cheap beer, since this is metal beer and bullshit. Cheap beer of choice is Hams.
Ugh.
Drink it. It's from the land of blue skies, bro.
Yeah, but
Just
it leaves a brown toilet.
And
No, that Shingling Lager, but
I can still do that.
Oh.
I can still drink this. I had a couple the other night.
shitting on the
But-
locals.
But back to what you were saying about punk rock shows and getting hit with beer cans. You were talking about Stoyer a little while ago.
I love this human being we're speaking of.
Divination did a small little tour, if you will, with Stoyer's old band called Columnus Doom.
Oof.
And we played this place in Front Royal, Virginia. It was
awesome town, by the way.
Indeed.
Have you played Front Royal,
I've
Virginia?
not played, but I've been there more than once. Yes.
It was a house show, and the people that owned the house, their land was right up against a Civil War cemetery.
Oh no!
And everybody that
Is this going to result in a felony charge
No, but-
for somebody?
no,
or-
no,
I was gonna say,
later-
change the names for the sake of the innocent.
we
If
didn't
so.
play this show, but no more shows are there because somebody tried digging. Yeah,
Oddly enough, do you know the singer from the band we were talking about earlier? That Marmaduke?
Yeah.
Supposedly that's why he had trouble getting his visa to come
Here?
tour, because he was arrested for grave robbery
but
in
anyway,
Sweden. So
that's horrible. But back to this Front Royal show. The people that owned the house, their punk band played first, and it was a basement. It was literally a basement.
Sounds like a punk show.
At one point, when this band was playing, there was 10 people in there. No big deal. Okay. So we go to play, and now there's probably 35, 40 people in this basement. I'm 6'1". My head's just scraping the ceiling. Our guitarist is 6'7", and he has to
what was this, Jay?
yeah, he has to play like James from Metallica, hunched over like this. So
That's
we
how
got
he plays normally.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, that's his normal stance.
That should be normal.
Yeah, whatever.
So anyway, we started playing, and it is about 1 billion degrees in there. You can see the steam coming off of everybody because of just how humid it is from everybody breathing in this little basement. Second song, something goes whipping past my head. I'm like, what the hell is that? Next thing you know, I look over and there's
Spine.
There's our predator now.
there's a can of beer, a Busch can no less, laying on my floor top, and I'm like, who the fuck? Stoyer comes running up. No, man, that's how that's their appreciation.
Yes.
I'm like,
yeah.
could you at least make sure they're empty?
Yeah,
Or how about a better beer?
No.
No, that's
the
what we got
shittier
paid.
the better.
That's what we got paid in
The
that
better
night.
the reception. It's like, yeah.
See, I was gonna say that right there. That's the difference in the metal and the punk scene, right there. We're the punk rockers are perfectly content drinking garbage.
Yeah.
like
Dude,
that's just.
I was
how
totally into shitty beer up until I was don't know, 30, 35.
Well,
Again,
Once I discovered quality, I just kind of like,
Well-
my shitty beer is Stella.
let me.
That's,
We all remember Ricky Rackman from Headbangers Ball. Well, most of us old heads do. I don't know if anybody under the age of like 30 is listening.
and ladies and gentlemen, how the fuck we got on a Ricky Rackman, I don't know.
Hey,
I'm
he
about
has-
to bring
he
it
has
full
a
circle.
metal tie to this.
You're talking. You said about appreciating good beer. You reached a point where you started liking better beer. Well, I'm of the Ricky Rackman mind. What did he used to say when he shipped the show off? What was his closing line?
So like keep
One
one
foot
foot in the gutter,
one foot in the gold.
grave. Oh yeah, 1 foot in the gold. That's what it
Well,
was.
I keep 1 foot in the gutter. That would be my hams, and 1 foot in the gold. That's the expensive beer. So thanks, Ricky Rackman. My beer consumption philosophy belongs to you. So to Ricky Rackman.
Yes, sir.
Cheers. And by the way, for a great Ricky Rackman moment, look up the Danzig, like when he did the thing with Danzig when they went over to Germany, and Glenn Danzig just like fucking totally made a dick out of Ricky Rackman.
Yeah, that's on YouTube. If
But-
anybody wants to look
Look
that
it
up,
up.
that's
Look it up.
totally
It's
on
amazing.
YouTube. I've watched it multiple times.
You know what the funnier part about that is Karma came back and bit Glenn Danzig in the ass because how many times has somebody made him look like a dick now? So
I was just gonna say the picture of the meme on multiple social media sites of him carrying cat litter
Jesus Christ.
from wherever he was shopping
Yeah.
is fucking gold.
I
it is.
love the one that goes
Absolute
around of
gold.
Of who, is it Glenn Danzig or is it Sigourney Weaver?
That one's good as well.
That
That
is
one
on-
actually freaked me out a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. I was
You
sitting
had
on the
to think
toilet
for-
while I found that one, and I thank God I was on the toilet.
You had a thing for Sigourney Weaver, didn't you?
I really
who
did.
didn't?
I was gonna say, did you see her in her panties in Alien?
Alien.
Nah,
Did you
she
see
never
her
did
panties in
anything for me.
Alien?
I always thought she looked like a dude. So
Okay, you didn't see her in her panties.
Yeah, I
All
did.
that's all I'm
Band
gonna
camp.
say. So you did like it. You
$20
did.
is $20. It filled my gas tank.
Amen.
Oh, where are we
All
going
right.
now?
Well,
That was just a.
And
let's
that's
move
that.
away from butt plugs and get on to something else.
Let's plug other things.
So all right, so part of the
What a great segue
Thank you.
from John's anus to beer.
to like real plugs.
So let's go ahead and move into our beer reviews.
Okay.
Does somebody else want to introduce this section? Go ahead, John. You talk about it.
Yeah, you like beer probably more than most of us.
Judging by that gut.
Yeah.
Ooh, I had to bring it up. I had to.
Hey,
Sorry.
you're not too
paid
spelt there
for.
either, buddy.
I'm still wearing extra large T-shirts though.
Yeah, I'm in
Ooh.
a shut up.
Shots fired.
Anyway, come
Anyway,
on. So this is your segment.
I don't even know how to begin with this one, but I love craft beer. I got turned on to this about 4 years ago. And craft beer goes along with my philosophy outside of music of I love homegrown stuff. I try to eat at mom and pop restaurants. I try to shop at mom and pop places. Nothing against big corporates. I like my stuff to be. I like to help my local everything. And when I got turned on to craft beer, I was like, holy shit, this is better beer than I've drank ever in my life. Real quick story how I got onto it. I was at a Faith No More show up in Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn was the sponsor for the after party. It was 105 degrees out in the dark, and the only thing that was there was Brooklyn Lager in a can, and it was ice cold, and it was the most refreshing thing ever. From that moment on, I was like, that's it. Craft beer all the way. And this week I bring to you guys, or this show, Duclaw Bare Ass Blonde. Easy drinking. I'm not a big fan of anything else from Duclaw, but Bare Ass Blonde to me is a worthy top 5 beer.
I like. I'll weigh in first on this beer. Good summer drinker. We were discussing before we started recording. My philosophy on better beer would be summer months. Beer can get pretty. Craft beer can get heavy.
Oh yeah.
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 I've heard a lot of people who aren't into it. That's what I've heard. That's a meal in a can or a bottle or whatever, and that's fair. Especially if you're used to drinking the yellow piss water that we've been,
Raised on.
indoctrinated to drink, as Americans, i.e. Budweiser, Miller, Coors, whatever. I'm not going to mention the local.
I mean, even though the local, some people
don't know what the local is.
The local is
for
Yuengling.
us.
For us, Yuengling
Yuengling
Lager.
Lager.
And by the way, I was just down in New Orleans last week,
and they have it down there.
and
Yeah,
it's
everywhere
big
now.
down there. The guy was telling me they just got it like a year ago, and they couldn't
They
keep
get
the
it-
shit in stock down
they
there.
get
In
it
Maryland,
from-
it was considered a craft brew.
It's,
Yeah.
You
it
paid like
still is.
$7 a fucking pint for
Yeah,
it.
dude, when
when
I
you
lived,
in
when
Maryland.
I
Is that
lived in
retarded?
Virginia, dude, they did.
Pardon me, but that's insane.
Well, they did Black and Tan when I lived in Virginia, and that shit was like $10 a mug.
There you go.
Yeah.
And this is the stuff like when,
Robbery.
I just had a child, and Yuengling sent me a case of beer in the mail because that's what they do around here.
What?
I'm just
Say
kidding.
what?
I was gonna say I didn't get no
holy
fucking
shit, I didn't-
cases.
Yeah. And
I
you
need-
had twins?
I need fucking
Yeah,
cases
what?
and cases.
Juan is like freaking out over
But
it.
really, I don't even like beer.
Most reaction I've seen out of this guy in a long time.
Like, I
He's
really,
very
really
upset about
don't.
it.
Yeah, but you drink more
vodka.
beer now than I've ever seen you drink.
So my review when it comes to like reviewing the beer is going to be based off of like somebody who drinks vodka and rum as the main source.
By the way, if
So-
you want to know about good rum, you ask Juan, because I'll say this: I'm not a hard liquor guy, not by
my
choice.
favorite.
It's by chemical makeup. I'm not a liquor kind of guy for everybody else's benefit. But yeah, if rum's your thing, reach out to Junie here, because that dude will turn you in the right direction. I had what'd you feed me the other week? I said I was like dangerous. I was like, because it was so smooth and delicious. I that's the kind of stuff that you don't realize you're drinking, and before you know it, you're rum drunk and singing pirate songs. And
No, Juan and his rum has resulted in me running around chasing a guy in the parking lot there at House Cabaret one time.
oh shit!
My 21st birthday.
Oh, it's the best.
And there you go.
So Juan, what do you think of that?
No, I did like this bare ass blonde.
I love the name just in general.
Well,
I was
no,
gonna say,
it
he
really
just
was a
like
light. It's a
bare-ass
light beer,
blondes.
and I don't like hoppy beers. It doesn't have like a harsh taste. It does go down smooth, and
It is
it's
very
light.
compatible to the common beers that we started off with, when we were younger.
Right.
But
I
it's
would
also
say that-
5%, so it's like drinking water with a little splash of flavor.
Fair enough.
But I do like it.
Well, being this was the first show, I didn't want to come out with, one of my all-time favorites. I didn't want to bring Brooklyn Lager out yet. I know you had it.
Certainly. It's
I
a
don't
very,
choose
it's
it.
a
Yeah,
great,
dude,
great
Yeah,
drink.
when we went to see X Order.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Ooh,
That's a
another
conversation
story.
for another show.
Yeah,
by
I
the
say
way.
that's another story. I didn't go
Because
but
we got to plug that club.
That club is
And that
awesome.
is that St.
St. Vitus.
Yeah.
Oh, that club was awesome.
There's a I have not been there yet, to be honest.
Oh.
But a friend of a gentleman who I was in multiple bands with, and I will plug his current band on a late probably the next show, because they just released their second LP, and it's goddamn fucking amazing. His band plays there quite often, and he has told me personally, like, you need to get up there and check that place
Dude, you
out.
do.
Yeah,
Like,
that-
So
And I'll tell you what.
If you are a metalhead, this club
Is
is
Valhalla.
about as metal as it can
holy
get.
shit, bro.
There is no.
We gotta look it up. And get a
I
trip.
mean, it is.
I would, dude, the guys, like, a big thing with me, like, I love the behind the scenes shit. Like I said, hence the wanting to talk to Frank, and I like the behind, and the dudes that own that St. Vitus, I would love to talk to them guys.
Right.
And see what the whole process was with coming up with that club. It's amazing. Like, me and John drove past it 3 times. We had no idea it was there.
Well,
You don't even know it's a club.
we-
It's just a house, dude. It's like
We
and-
said we were going to come back to this in another episode. Let's do this now. Literally.
Yeah, I'm game.
Yeah, we
Welcome to the next episode.
Hi, episode 2.
we
starting
drove
now.
past it, and you wouldn't know it was a club. There's a little grocery here and a little grocery on the other end of the block, and there's this black building in the middle.
Yeah,
No
literally.
signs.
Yeah.
No signs whatsoever. It's
The
it's
only
like that.
reason we knew it was a club is because as we were walking up, we were talking to each other like, dude, is this the place? And a guy standing there with a Lemoore hat and a death scarf on was like, dude, this is it.
He goes, "You're looking
Hold
for
on.
St. Vitus?"
Are we talking about the band Death?
Yes.
Yes.
They make scarves.
Yes.
Yes.
Fuck, I'm a
What
scarf
the
guy.
fuck
now.
is that? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Looks like we're
But,
getting scarves, right, Junie?
We
Yeah,
walked
at least
in,
two.
and as you walked in, it's like a little walkway, and they have all these posters on the wall of like who's coming up and all that kind of stuff. Promotion for the next band. As soon as you walked in, it's upside down crosses and metal, like behind the
Everything's
bar.
black.
Yeah, everything's black. The bar is just behind it is just like signed albums from you name the metal, like metal, not hair metal. Metal.
No. And the bartenders are all wearing AF shirts, Deicide
I was
shirts.
gonna say,
yes.
I mean, just
my friend who I was talking about, who like again, I'm actually going to wait to plug his band and his band's new release till next episode. But that, they opened for, they played with Vision of Disorder VOD there, and that was one of the I think I'll check with him and I'll correct this if this is wrong. I think that was the first time they played there, and I just remember like shooting him a message on Facebook being like, hey man, I saw you played up in Brooklyn. How did that go? And him the superlatives about how that club was run and like the way they went about the show and then the quality of the show in general. And I'll tell you this, I've known, the gentleman I'm speaking of, I like I said, multiple bands with him. I've known him nearly as long as I've known you guys, not quite as long. So, this dude's been a very big part of my life. The first thing out of his mouth is, you need to get your ass up there.
dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that section of Brooklyn used to be a complete shithole. They've now turned it. It's kind of like a hipster hell, more
Yeah.
or less.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of craft breweries up there, great restaurants, and it's really nice. Like me and John at first were a bit, kind of nervous about parking and walking through there.
Gentrification will keep your car safe.
It's not that bad. Like we parked like 4 or 5 blocks
Yeah.
away, if not further. We went in, like got our shit, t-shirts and everything, took it out to the car and came back, and then left at like 2 a.m. and it was fine. Like it wasn't. I mean, there's sections of Brooklyn you used to go into, dude. You did not go to your fucking car at like 3 a.m. You got jumped. You know what I mean?
Hey,
So it was.
and this once again going back to our history, all of us went to Lemoore.
Juan didn't.
You never went to
No,
Lemoore?
and Bob didn't. No, you never went to Lemoore.
I don't think
did
I
you?
was at Lemoore.
It was just me, you, Matt, and Derek.
Yeah,
And
we-
Wayne, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that show?
Yeah. Sorry.
Bastard.
Yeah, and rest in peace, Brett Hoffman.
Yeah.
That's a huge loss to this community, man.
That was
One of
that
my
was a
favorite
bummer to
singers.
see that yesterday.
I knew he was in bad shape, but I didn't know he was in that bad a shape. So
51, right? Yeah, I mean,
51.
I mean, he's not an old.
But that
by standards,
as we're prone to do, we get sidetracked. But just to get sidetracked onto that a little bit, that was a show that me and John and Matt McCullough and Derek and was Wayne with for that?
yeah, Wayne was with her.
I think
Mike
Wayne was
Garman?
with. Huh?
Mike Garman? Are you talking
No,
about-
no. It was just the 5 of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wayne kind of went. Wayne was like the official, unofficial mascot. Wayne went everywhere.
and he
Like,
never said more than 5 words.
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah.
He likes to smoke pot and not talk.
Wayne smokes
That was
pot?
Wayne, yeah.
I never.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know
How
that.
did I know that? How did I not know this?
Should we be talking about this?
Maybe not.
No, not Wayne. What's his real name? No, don't
It
say
doesn't
it.
matter. We don't have his last name. But anyway,
I was gonna say, and
We
dude,
went-
even if somebody who knows him, like I've known Wayne as long as I've known you. You introduced me to Wayne, Sean.
Yeah.
What 20?
nah, Wayne's awesome, dude. He is.
Now
I would have
I'm
never
over
guessed
here
that-
Completely
that-
shocked off my.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
really?
you.
I
Yeah,
never knew that.
Dude.
Yeah, I smoked weed.
So
with him
it's
a
like-
couple times.
You can actually call him a
he was
Buffalo
like the
Soldier.
straightest
Yeah.
of
Me too.
straight
Me
edge.
too, John. Me too. I did my laundry with Wayne when I was living in Kutztown. I would do my laundry with him on
But anyway,
certain days, and
so-
would have never guessed it.
So we went that show that day. There was a hurricane,
Yes.
and the Lincoln Tunnel, the Holland Tunnel, they were all flooded. So there was a whole big thing
Awesome.
with people getting into Brooklyn, and we got up there, and there was 20 people in the club.
Yeah.
So we basically sat on the stage through Suffocation and Malevolent Creation, and I forget who. the local
Who
band
else was on that?
There was some local bands on it.
Yeah. Was it just those two were the headliners? Because I know.
Yeah,
we-
those were the 2 headliners.
Okay, because we went up there so many times. We saw like Dismember and Vader and Cancer and
DSI.
Demolition Hammer. I don't remember
Cancer.
who were on what band or on what bills. So
And yeah, it's tough to kind of keep track
that's
of that
Baphomet,
shit
sorry.
these days. But I mean, that was nearly 30 years
I never
ago.
saw that.
Something.
Who?
Baphomet.
No,
never
that
saw
was
that.
That's
that,
great.
that was Scott was in the Baphomet.
I like
Scott was the one who brought it in, right?
Yeah.
But I
Shirey
like
got
them.
Shirey. You and Shirey turned me on to Baphomet when I was in Caustic with y'all.
But going back to that to Brooklyn in itself, Lemoore was like a great place to go see shows, but now St. Vitus is that just smaller.
That's the place. Like,
Yeah.
it used to be Lemoore was the place
Right.
everybody played. Now it's... And this place is tiny. Like, if you're listening from out of state, from out of the country, and you just want to come over to the States and check out a really cool club, fly into New York and go to St. Vitus. Like, it's 300 people. Like, we got there, and we got our, like, merch. And I said to John, well, why don't we go down to Brooklyn Brewery, check out, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, dude, you might want to go check out Big Nose. You might want to go in and check this out, like the show area, where the stage is before we leave. I walked in, and it was like, if it held fucking 200 people, you're lucky.
The room that we're sitting in
but
right
that's
now might
crazy.
be like
Dude,
the
the
size.
whole
You have to
club,
go to that place.
capacity of the club is 300 people.
Yeah. And, well, right before we went to go see X-Order, and right before X-Order went on, I went to take pictures of, like, the stage and just the area for my wife. And next thing you know, Sean comes walking over to me, and I'm like, yeah, we're not getting our seats at the bar. And he's like, why? And as soon as we turned around that place, it was just like...
Fucking swamped. Like,
now everybody
like that.
walked in. Nobody was in that part when I took these damn pictures. We turned around. This was within 2 minutes. Place is packed. We're like, yeah, we're not trying to fight through that. And then that crowd, it just turned into like 1986. It was a circle pit over here, stage diving everywhere.
It was, dude. It was old school. It made Unisound look tame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was crazy, dude. Like, there's like
But
no
were there
rules in
claw
that
hammers?
place. It is
No, there was
straight
no
up-
claw hammers.
Then sorry.
No,
it
yeah,
didn't
don't-
make Unisound look tame. All
All right, yeah. Well,
until you're being hit with claw hammers
and
being
mace.
maced simultaneously.
I got mace in my eyes too.
Yeah.
Can we all be friends here? Let's be friends.
Unisound days.
that's gonna
beware
be
of claw
that's gonna be a whole
hammers.
episode.
I think
We
should
have
do
to do a
that
special
will
have
episode,
to.
too.
Yeah.
And Jake's still around. Maybe we
Yeah.
get Jake to come on.
Oh, he'd love
Oh
it.
Jesus,
He'd love it. He'd love it.
man!
He'd love it.
Can we just give him like downers before he gets here?
No, I say we give him up.
because I want to see the look on his face while we're making his voice.
The funny part is I've bumped into him that
Hey,
he.
Jake, tell us how you deal with Nazi skinheads.
Well, see, first here, I have this contraption here that we trap them in. We trap them in here, and then we call the cops. But in the meantime, we'll take this broomstick and like poke them a little bit. Jerry, get
And
the
mace
hammer.
him.
Jerry, get the
And
hammer.
hit him with claw hammers. I can't. Again, if you aren't from this area, what we're talking, and you weren't in that scene,
We're gonna have this is
we
gonna
have
be an
to go to that
episode.
one.
This is gonna be a full descriptive
this
episode.
place-
Ian on here too. You
This
know that,
place-
right? Like
This
Who?
place was so crazy.
Ian Lillis.
Yeah.
You know Ian. You know
I
Ian.
don't think I know Ian.
Oh, you do. You just don't know you know Ian. Ian was there. Trust me. Ian was always there. You know Ian.
Yeah.
Ian is like an Anthony Susky guy.
I think he's still good friends with him.
Amazing friends with him. He was
Yeah.
he was at the Slayer show. That's who was standing. That's how I noticed it was Susky.
Okay.
I saw Ian first, and I was like, I'm elbowing one. I'm like, holy shit, that's fucking Susky right there. And
Yeah, but I don't know him either.
Who Susky?
Yeah.
He sang for Aborticide, bro.
That was after Juan left, and
That was like way later.
yeah, it was. Yeah, he'd already
he must
moved to.
have not been.
Okay.
I was gone. Like,
Yeah,
I was.
little Frankie Jr.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but
He was impressive back in the
I don't
day.
know. I was.
He's
gone.
still-
You were
he's
playing
still
Caustic
is.
by that
I would
point,
like to
right?
bring that
You were
guy
in
on
Caustic by
because
that point, right?
I'm good friends with him.
He's a burnt.
He's you know what? When
burnt
this
up,
goes
but-
on Facebook, he'll probably be one of the first ones to listen to it.
Well, Susky,
cool.
I will say this: mad respect to you. If you do listen, mad respect to you. He ain't, BN ain't fucking shit, and little Frankie from Suffocation. That dude had some guttural shit going on back in the day, and yeah, man, yeah.
But anyway, back to Unisound real quick, and then we'll get off this and save this for another episode. The band Monkey Pup actually wrote a song about the Unisound days of how
Indeed.
crazy it was.
Skinheads broke
Yeah,
my
the
Walkman.
Skinheads broke my Walkman.
That was payphone outside
Yeah.
and getting jumped by skinheads.
Get the hell out.
We all
They
know.
stomped me in the face.
Some of us know the boys who jumped the singer
Yeah.
better than others. And yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
if
son.
you have the
Hey, you didn't know that, Sean? You didn't
No,
know
I
that?
did not.
Big
know
nose,
that.
big
No.
nose with the
Yeah,
lamb.
If you
bro.
have the Active Faith CD, pull it out, and on the bottom of the song there is a description of this was from the Unisound Club. This is a true story. Blah 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 blah. I think it even has the date of it.
Dude, that's awesome.
And we
Yeah.
were there for history. Go
Yep.
figure.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like, You know, maybe if this starts reaching the right people, because you know how many fucking people out there remember Mucky Pup. But there's somebody out there with the CD or the LP that can be like, they ain't shitting. Yeah, no, seriously, Skinheads broke my.
Yeah,
Walkman.
we were there that night. I mean, that was.
I think we all made it.
Sony.
Yeah. I mean,
I know I was there. I seen.
We were there
You
all
were
the
there. I
fucking
remember
time.
hanging out with you and Beth. And
Sony.
Man.
Tom.
I love that.
yeah.
I love that.
We can't bring that up now.
Yeah, no. We gotta say that story. That story.
Let's reel this back in and come back to
All right, so
Let's go back to the reviews.
All right. So as you can tell, we get sidetracked fairly easy. So we were at the reviews. Everybody else had the review on the Duclaw Bare Ass Blonde. And I will
Wow,
say
is that how far back we went?
yeah.
Wow, I felt
So-
like yesterday we were talking about that.
What
was your review?
It was. So I'll go ahead and say for a wheat beer, it was pretty damn good. It's not as good as the originators, you know. Like I do love Hogarten.
Okay.
It's a great wheat, but it's damn good for an American wheat beer. So I'll give it a thumbs up.
I was just trying to figure out how to use a bottle opener. I'm usually using my
Now,
lighter.
the next one. Can we talk about this one now?
Yes. Go ahead. Go.
Yeah, let's go
Seg
ahead
into that.
Go ahead and.
I don't know if I should start it.
I'll
No,
tell
I
you
think
what.
you should start it.
So this was
I think you should.
Trogs Brewery out in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It was a Crimson. It's called Crimson Pistol.
Try that, dude.
Pistil. It's an IPA brewed with hibiscus flowers. It was okay. Like I don't think I'd ever buy it
Sour?
again.
Indeed.
All right. So I said it was okay. I would never buy it again. Go ahead.
Yeah, the crimson. I don't even know.
I so distracted him with what I just handed him.
Oh my god!
For people listening, this fucking thing is going off the rails.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bob is passing around a Flemish shower.
We just opened up vinegar. Vinegar with some alcohol in it. It's
Isn't it beautiful?
it's good though. It's almost like apple cider vinegar and beer,
Yeah.
like
Go on.
kicked up kombucha.
Go on.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You pussies, this is amazing.
Fucking
I love this.
says the guy who brings the flower water to the table.
All right, go ahead. Go on with your review.
wait. You know what?
Listen, crimson is
Crimson
horrible.
Pistil.
Fucking horrible. It tastes like fairy piss.
If I may go, if I
If
may
there were
go-
fucking
if-
fairies in the
I know you were into that.
Oh, hold on.
I didn't know either until today.
Juan is not done yet. Go on. Fairy piss. You were at fairy piss.
It literally is like flower water.
Fairy piss.
With a little bit of Pabst Blue Ribbon poured over it.
Yeah. Again, I don't drink beer, so this one's like a -2. Go ahead.
I like it. I'm not a big IPA fan, but over the years, probably the last 6 months, I've been getting more into IPAs. It's light, it's refreshing. Let's just say my palate is completely crashed now after whatever that hell. But
China.
yeah, I can live with it. I drink a couple of these a night.
So you'd buy it?
I'd buy it.
So Trogs is technically it's a local. They're from the
Harrisburg.
Keystone. They're from the Keystone State like us. They have many. I'm sure
Many.
anybody listening, you know, it's
No,
not
Hershey. I'm sorry.
Hershey.
Let me
Like, yeah,
correct you.
they
Harrisburg.
were York.
It
And
tastes like it comes
they
from
were
the
York,
Hershey
and then they
Highway.
moved to Hershey.
Oh, they were York?
Yes.
All right.
If you're from Pennsylvania or most places, Trogs is pretty commonplace now.
Troganator is like the big thing for them.
Yeah, they have
Really?
some great beers.
I mean,
for
Dirt
sure.
Wolf is the big one.
No, that's Victory.
Is that Victory?
Yeah.
Troganator.
Troganator.
Not Troganator. They have an IP. They have a big IPA that's
Nugget Nectar.
nope. That's an amber.
Is this the same people that make
Regardless,
that Christmas thing?
Rudolph or
No, Mad Elf.
Mad Elf.
Mad Elf. Yeah,
Mad
that's
Elf.
Trogs. Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah, isn't that
Rudolph.
right?
Rudolph
Think
would
so.
be
Hold
Allentown
on.
Brew Works or well.
Which I like Mad Elf. I had that before.
Trogs is kind of like I said, it's not uncommon.
It's just
I don't
really
know.
hot.
It says 52 IBUs on the back of this can, 6.2%. I'm just going to read you the stats.
Yeah, it's definitely not real high on IBUs.
It's a hop cycle. I don't know what their hop cycle is. It says summer. which is interesting.
It's
I've
sunny.
homebrewed, so I'd like to understand what a hop cycle, summer cycle is. So if anybody out there wants to drop that knowledge on me on the podcast page,
I think that might be one of their personal things. Like,
well, maybe somebody
maybe they
knows
use
what it
these-
is though. I'm interested because, like I said, I homebrew beer here and there, and
I do too.
Very
but the
light
hops were
tanginess.
Azaka, which I've never heard of, Nugget, which I have, and
Vic's Secret.
Vic's Secret, which I've never heard of.
You never heard of Victoria's Secret?
They
Wash panties in this fucking. That's where the flour taste comes from.
Ew. Anyway, it was a solid. It's a solid IPA. If you're into IPAs, it's a drinker. It's not one that's going to ruin your palate, make your teeth feel weird.
No, not hardly called an IPA.
You know,
Yeah, it's a very
Especially at 52 IBUs.
yeah.
you know,
But
it's-
although I don't know about that IBU count because it was hoppier at 52 IBUs. I was expecting something a little more mellow, to be honest. So
It's really hoppy.
it's not.
Did you think so?
I'll give you something real hoppy, Junie.
No. I know there's probably shit out there
It'll
that
make your teeth
tastes
feel
like,
like crevicey.
like death, but
it tastes
to
like
me, this is like extremely
And
hoppy.
that, well, that's fair.
I don't
That's
know
fair.
what-
Someone who's not into beer, this is probably one.
No,
of the,
no, Juan. Dude, I must say, you do drink a hell of a lot of beer, but it's,
there's
you're
a-
more
I like stouts and
Yes,
dark
yeah,
and shit that's like
yeah, then this-
17%. You know, I want shit
Well,
that's
I
like
got a bunch of shit at home
Yeah.
for us, then, brother.
Yeah, dude, he's really
Avery
into it.
is my favorite company out of all
I've
of
got a
them.
bunch
The
of
Beast.
stuff for you and me. But anyway, it's a solid IPA. Would I buy a whole case of it? Probably not. Would I buy a 6-pack in
Yes.
like on the way to a party to where I'm gonna have to drive and
If I was gonna punish people, yeah.
if you were going to a podcast, would you buy it?
certainly a 6-pack.
there you
no
go.
more than a 6-pack though.
No, but
Well,
it's
there's
good to
only 4 of
try
us,
it.
so-
You know what I mean? It's good to try it, and
Indeed.
that's what it's about.
I mean, I handed you a bottle of vinegar, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't
I don't
that
even
bad.
know what
The
that
vinegar
is.
we speak of is Cuvée de Jacobins. It's a sour
let me try
Flemish
that
red.
again.
Yeah, see, he wants more of the vinegar.
Which we were only going to do 2 beers for review, so we might as well just go ahead and throw this one in. If
might
you're
as
into
well.
Flemish sours, it's damn good. Like it's a
you
type
know
of
what-
beer I like.
But the second swig is like
Different.
mellow and
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Like open up your
And we're
mind.
to be
if
fair-
you haven't tried sour beer, try it. Like it is something completely
I
different.
do it.
and
I do it
love
every week. There's a what would you call it? No. No, I'm good.
John's like,
What?
A place that we all drink at called Barley Mow. I don't know what you would call that. It's not a bar.
It's a tap house.
Yeah.
a tap house.
Yeah.
a craft tap.
No,
Craft
no,
house.
no food.
Yeah, no
You
food.
can get food delivered there, which is kind of dope. But
No popular butter.
And shout out to the Barley Mow because it is one of my favorite.
Fuck yeah. I
beer
love that
drinking
place.
places
Oh,
ever. I love the place. They're in
I was just
in
there
West
last
Reading,
night.
Pennsylvania, and
One-
if you
Dog
ever-
friendly.
Yes,
Very
dog
dog
friendly.
they're asshole friendly because they let us drink there.
Yeah. But every week I go in there and I do 2 flights, and number 1 on their list every week is a freaking sour. And if we could ever interview the bartenders there, they go, "We know you're gonna hate it, but at least you try it." And every week you can go on my Untapped and see it. At every week it's like, "No, this is terrible." I'll try it, but I hate sours. I hate sours.
So on the flip side of that, my wife, that's pretty much all she drinks at this point.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
A couple friends of mine are like that.
And,
They went from the really high IPAs to sours now.
Well, my wife went from liquor to sours. But no, much like any beer or music, I think that's why they kind of go hand in hand. It's all about perception and personal taste. And sours is something, if you're not familiar with it, some people are going to be like, holy fuck, you just gave me a bottle of vinegar or a glass of vinegar. What I'd like to say is, as we sit here sampling this shit, we're drinking it out of the bottle it came in, which
Not ideal.
you're right.
Yeah, it should be in a glass.
What?
You should get some air into
Absolutely,
it.
sir.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, sir.
let it.
See, look, we're a little school on wine.
Holy shit!
look,
This
yeah.
fancy, this fancy pants beer, you're not supposed to drink it out of the vessel. It's
Well, I never got a
packaged
flower pot for my flower fucking beer.
Well, that was filtered through dirty panties, so.
I was just gonna say, didn't we?
I didn't get my
Isn't that
Victoria's
close enough?
Secret.
Wasn't that soaked in
Free
filthy
gift bag.
Victoria's Secret panties? It's really got some of that flavor from.
All right, so this is getting off the fucking rails.
Came through just
So-
That would be us.
You got your beer reviews. Now let's kind of skip ahead here to the. We're not gonna. Normally, what I plan to do with all this is we're gonna do band reviews, and I want to play some of the music. Whether that's edited in or just played live, I don't know yet. But just so you know, there will be music played on the podcast eventually. But for now, I want to go through and do a few band reviews because we get tons of excellent shit, and I think you guys need to know about it.
Certainly.
And
So-
before we go into this, what's really cool is some of these labels / distributors, promoters, whatever, gave us music already for something that hasn't even been. We haven't done this before other than today.
Yeah, you should probably plug those guys because that
And
was
for
awesome.
all
of them.
all those labels that gave us something to work with, hey, thank you very much. If we like it, we do. If not, sorry, but you know what they say.
Send us more shit. We'll like something
You know,
eventually.
no.
No,
bad-
but
there's
it's
no
just
such
an
thing as bad
opinion,
press.
not literally like it's just an opinion. Not
Right.
saying that
There's no such
anything
thing
is
as bad
horrible.
press.
And I gotta I'm trying to. This is terrible. Hold on a second.
Edit.
It's
My favorite word.
there's
of
a
the day.
label
Edit.
that I contacted early on, and had said to them, "Hey, can you, do you guys like send out demos? How does it work?" And they hooked me up with a guy. For the life of me, I can't find his name. I forget it. I apologize.
John Doe.
But he runs a company that's all he does. He sends out demos for these different small labels, and I mean,
Whatever.
the industry works completely different than it used to.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
there's so
Oh.
many small labels, independent labels now, and everything's being released through Bandcamp,
That's punk rock influence there, by the way,
Yeah.
friends.
and it's great. I think it's amazing, to be
Back-
honest with you.
back-
That's the
when we did the,
DIY. That's the DIY influence.
Back when we did the zine, no labels would give you any kind of promo until you were proven. So you had to basically go out and
Buy shit.
buy shit, review it, and then quick send it to them, and then they would send you, And at one point, I was getting a package from different labels a week, and it was like 5 to 10 CDs in it. There was no way to keep up with it, and it just got so overwhelming sometimes. So nowadays, labels don't send you hard copies anymore. You got to go on the internet and listen to it. I miss the old days. I do.
I do, but I don't because the old days, like you just said, you had to be this proven, like, well, these guys ship this many issues of their zine or whatever. Right. And like I said, the DIY influence of the punk scene has really thanks to the interwebs. The interwebs has changed the world in many good ways, many bad ways. One of the good ways is you got instant clickable access to everything. And that's the DIY spirit right there, man. You don't have to have $1 billion to start a fucking label to buy, to go pay for this band to get them to put put their shit out. You can just be like, hey, I got this, this website set up, this whatever, and I've got this distro, and hey, we'll put up 50% of your record. Well, in today's times, and we're talking, I don't think, maybe what some people don't realize is even like some of the bigger bands that we're like, oh man, these guys fucking rule, and it's easily accessible. Dude, they're putting their own money up for some of their own shit sometimes. Like, I don't think people realize this, and maybe that's something we can bring to the people through this show is that, dude, everybody can have a part in the scene if you want these days. If you're really into the music scene, you don't have to be a musician. Like Juan was saying about Sean here. You don't have to be behind an instrument to be a part of this scene. If you got,
if you could just help out in some
damn
way,
right.
shape,
Or if you
form.
got, let's say, hey, you're doing well at work or whatever, and you've got an extra, $500 laying around.
Yeah.
Dude, drop it on, talk to, find yourself a local label or find yourself a label that you like. Talk to them. Be like, hey, I'd like to invest in you'd be surprised what these people will come back with and say, "Oh, really?"
You want to invest? Buy all these albums.
Well, it works out like that sometimes. Certainly, sometimes it's like
Which again is the best investment.
You know who did that? And everybody slags this band. And when I say the band, everybody slags this band for they cut their hair. They ruin Napster or whatever.
Talking about fucking Fatal Aggression?
No, Metallica. Metallica is that band that you know
They did get haircuts, didn't they? Way to go, Pete Patastas.
But in the meantime, though, they were the band that everybody picks on. But look at them now. They bought their whole entire back catalog, are redoing this stuff their way. And, they're giving their money to redo their own albums and give it to the people this way now.
I got what you're saying. I do. I don't got no beef with that band. I was just talking about I'm gonna plug my roommate / my brother / drummer for a great band, which I'll plug at another date. My man Devin Sessions. We were just talking about Metallica today, and I say what you will about him. I was talking about that fucking VH1 behind the scenes deal where Jason Newkid was like, "Sell out." You're right.
Do it all the time.
Sell out every seat. And he claps his hands every night. And, dude,
Yeah, let me tell you, dude, I met those guys, and Jason Newsted was the coolest fucking dude of them all.
I believe that.
That dude,
I believe
he
that.
stood in that fucking room and said he's not leaving until every single person, he had a chance to talk to everybody. The security guard's trying to chase us all out, and he was like, dude, fuck off. He's like, I'm not leaving until everybody here had a chance to talk to me and get pictures. And, like, the other dudes... Yeah, I won't.
He talked to everybody, and then he left. Literally, the band. The best guy left.
Probably he went to Voivod, so probably one of the smartest moves he ever made in his life.
And his solo stuff's good too.
A real quick story about New Kid. When we did the zine, we were kind of like on the outs of the zine at that point. One afternoon, I get home from work, and there's this demo tape in a big packaged envelope, and I look at it. It's called IR8.
Oh, yeah.
And I opened it up, and here it's Jason Newsted, Tom Hunting from Exodus, and I forget who was on guitar. It was a 3-piece band, and in big letters on the tape, it said, "Do not mail anything to the Metallica fan club. This is just from us." First things first, how did they find me? I have no clue still to this day.
You're welcome.
BN.
But still to this day,
Everyone knows you do.
No idea.
Anybody send anything to the Big Nose?
And it wasn't it was not great at all. It was
I remember that. It was pretty mediocre.
Right.
And that's me being polite.
And I gotta ask a little bit, since I was kind of gone at this point, I don't know much about the fanzine. Like, so since we're just bullshitting here and fucking getting way off the rails, why don't you go ahead and
This kind of leads
There's
into
no
the review.
rails.
It's kind of leads into the review section.
Hot rails to hell.
hell. We found out through a friend of ours how you get backstage passes and how you get free stuff. And
Oh, here's the dick sucking stories.
Don't forget to cup the balls.
Because I know we had talked about doing a fanzine before I left.
yeah, and I think you might have been one of the people that we talked about this with. And next thing you know, we're like, well, you know what? Ticket prices are outrageous. We're all high school kids. How the frick do we do this? Well, one of us.
Don't forget to cup the balls.
I'm in.
We said let's
Not that there's
do
anything
this
wrong
zine.
with that.
Yeah, let's do this zine, and we started doing this zine. And at one point, like I said, we were doing reviews, and there was so much stuff that came in because back then everybody wanted press.
So were you guys getting
This
like?
is pre-interweb
Are you getting
shit.
like put on the guest list for all kinds of shows and stuff?
I went to see Slayer, met them at an after party during a Divine Intervention tour. King Diamond called my house to tell me to meet at this
how
hotel.
cool is
King
that story?
Diamond did.
Yeah.
How fucking cool is that
And,
story?
That is amazing.
The part that sucked was this
BN
is
is
before,
down with the king.
this is before cell phones. So all I had was a pager. And I keep getting this page of this weird number. I have no idea who it is.
A pager. What are you, a drug dealer?
Don't tell nobody. So anyway,
I just think of the NWA song, fucking with me because I'm a teenager with a little bit of gold and a pager, something like that.
something like that. But in the meantime, here it is. These guys are trying to call me to say, hey, meet at whatever it was. And they had this humongous party. No, my dad didn't even bother to call me or whatever. He's just like, hey, it was some guy called and said you were supposed to go here and you already left. So, like I said, before cell phones. So.
Wow.
Big Nose, King Diamond called for you.
Some guy named the King, and I know the King's really dead, so... like, no!
Well, you gotta understand, I'm not picking on my dad. He just passed, but he couldn't hear. Like
John's dad was a saint.
He was very hard of hearing, and
God bless him, he was.
Yeah, he was, but he hears King, so he's like, why is somebody from Burger King calling my...
Oh my God, that's awesome.
When I came home and he told me that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna kill you.
Is that where SOD got the King goes to Burger King, whatever, for on the second record?
Bigger than the devil.
Bigger than the devil, yeah.
I'll have a burger and fries. No pickles. To go. All right, now let's go back to the review.
All right. So
disclaimer. This is Bob. I got no reviews this week.
This episode.
This episode because I had
you got an excuse.
Yeah, I had a new addition to my family 6.5 weeks early. He's dope as fuck. Thank you, gentlemen. But it kind of screwed. Unfortunately, it
fucked my whole podcast.
Yeah, it did.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah. Hey, don't thank me. Thank my wife's vagina and uterus and all
Dude,
that other
it's
shit.
all good.
You just do that.
There's no rush.
But no, I'm gonna have to sit back on this one. So
I did plenty.
These guys. If you don't hear my voice, that's why.
Next
week. I keep saying next week. Next program. I'll be bringing my flavor of reviews, and I got some wing dingers for you. So,
some wing dingers.
Here's these dudes with their stuff.
I said, go ahead, Sean.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do a band I said I wasn't gonna do, and that's Alms from Baltimore. They have a new album out. It's out on Bandcamp. I think they have the LP out. I don't think the CD is out yet. Amazing. If you're into doom, Sabbathy, kind of deep purpley, late 70s, early 80s, kind of metally,
big, thick
doomy
drums.
shit.
Okay.
I mean, it's, Hammond keyboards and shit. The fucking band is amazing. I cannot stop listening to it. I highly suggest it. Check it out on Bandcamp.
How do you say the name again?
Alms, ALMS.
Oh, Alms.
Yes, and they've got a couple shows coming up. I think they're playing that Ram's Head. What's the one that comes up? The big festival.
Oh, the Days of Darkness.
Yes, Days of Darkness. They're on that. So I highly suggest you check them out. I can't stop listening to them. The other band that I want to go ahead and review is Abhorrence. They have a new album coming out, and unfortunately, the email got deleted with all the information, as it does.
Way to go. Way to go.
Yes, thank you.
Better fire your fucking secretary,
The
dude.
album, I'm the secretary.
Fired.
It's megalohydrothalosophic.
You're just doing the whole alphabet.
Dude, can you say
I
that?
was gonna say
I don't
this
even know
This sounds
what
like an
the
old
fuck it
Carcass
is.
song title, like something
Dude,
off of Symphonies
seriously,
of Sickness.
Yeah.
No,
Look
you
at
got
it.
it.
It's like
Dude.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
You sure it's not Polish or something? Because there's like 27 Z's.
no,
in it.
dude. They're amazing.
Go
Like,
ahead and say that.
Holy shit!
if
Say
you're
that, John.
if you're a fan of
Is that
like,
one word?
yes,
it.
that's
Is
one
that a
word.
song or is that a?
That's
what?
the album.
No, dude, that's the album. Like, it's amazing, and I cannot. Again, another
How do you
band
fit
I
that on
cannot
the
get
tail
enough
the
of.
CD thing.
You
Can you imagine that on? Yeah, right. Can you imagine that on the fucking patch? It'd go all the way around your jacket.
I was gonna say, what do they do for?
It's like a hula hoop.
I'm
It's
starting
What do
a
they
new
do for
band.
shirts? Print all over, I
We're
guess.
starting
Right?
a new band that it starts at each side of the metal jacket and goes all the way around.
I'm in.
I like
Nothing
it.
but letters.
I'm in.
And well, if you're wearing the jacket, it's gonna be fucking huge.
Hey,
Oh, shots fired again.
you know why you like that sour, don't you? Put some hair back on his head.
Oh shit!
No, not really. I still got the bald spot.
Shots are
So
duck, motherfuckers.
honestly, like if you're a big fan of like
Metal.
Dude,
of that kind of Nordic like death metal sound,
is that the stuff
dude,
you were
they're
playing right
amazing.
before we started recording this?
Yeah.
If I this
It was pretty good.
was gonna say-
Asphyx, Crown,
Pestilence.
Entombed,
Pestilence.
Pestilence.
They really
If
have
you're-
like
Dude, seriously,
old
like-
pestilence. Let's not.
not even like
Yeah, good
spheres or
Pestilence.
whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
let's-
talking
like,
like what's the one with the ants?
Consuming Impulse.
Consuming
Yeah.
impulse.
Let's talk about
Pestilence.
real pestilence,
But-
not that
Yeah.
jazzy. Oh
Yeah.
No, dude,
Not
seriously.
I'm
spheres
gonna
or whatever.
rewind here for a second. Go ahead.
But honestly, this abhorrence, I lost the information for it. It's my fault.
Way
It
to
comes out
go.
soon. Amazing.
that's
Check it
the
out.
review.
Follow them on
Yep. It's
follow
fucking
them
amazing.
on Bandcamp, and you'll see when the new one comes out. It's dude, I cannot get enough of it. It's been in constant rotation. If you're a fan of Asphyx, Crown, Entombed, check it out. You won't be disappointed. It's just fucking uber talented
I'm
dudes, and they're just amazing.
I'm gonna do it.
So,
Go for it, Juan. What do you got?
Juan, you're up.
I did Faustkoven, I'm assuming, and the album's in the Shadow of Doom.
Ooh.
The release date was July 31st, or is July 31st of this year, in CD form, and then they're doing an LP international release in August 31st of this year.
Nice.
Their label is Nuclear War Now Production.
Ooh.
They're like a black doom metal. It's not black metal crazy fast. It's really thick and heavy and low. It's really good. I liked it. They're from Norway.
Just to clarify, Juan, you're not like like black metal.
I'm
is
not a huge
really your
black
thing,
metal
right?
fan. I
So-
do like some bands, but it's like it's very everything sounds very similar or the same. So it's hard for me to pick a bunch and be like, I love it, I love it, I love it.
When you say black metal now, is it the true Norwegian black metal like Dissection, Mayhem?
Wait, are you talking about this band
Fucking
or
Fucking
just?
Burzum.
No, this
or were
band
you
is
talking
like
Cradle of Filth, Demi Borgir.
Well, and there's definitely a difference
There-
between
yeah, there-
Swedish black metal
is
and
there-
Norwegian
is it
black metal.
symphonic?
Is there any other
Is it-
black
No,
metal
this is
besides
a very. This
Burzum?
it literally
That's
is
my
two
question.
people, two
Okay.
guys. It's Gunnar Hansen who does vocals, guitar, and bass, and then this Johnny Tomb Thrasher guy who does the drums. And they're just super heavy, super heavy, gloomy, really slow, thick, but black with a black metal like guitar feel, but just not super fast.
Gotcha.
Does it have that buzzsaw? That's one thing.
No,
that drives me
no.
nuts with-
It's literally like what I mean by like it's like doom metal, like that, like super low, but with a black metal sound.
So they know how to palm mute, in other words.
It's really cool.
Okay.
It's a really, really, really clean sounding recording. Like you can literally hear every instrument and you can hear everything.
Okay.
It's thick. It sounds like really like an influence of like Pentagram,
Okay.
Venom, really heavy.
Now we're speaking my
now
language,
you're
brother.
Yeah.
Our
Names
bathroom.
Overall, I liked it, and I'm not into black metal. I really, really enjoyed this
really
album.
need
I'd
it.
recommend
That's kind of why I
it.
asked you about your preference there, just so people are clear about
No,
that.
it's awesome. And then I did another one called Funeral Mist. Now this one, the album was Hecatomb. It came out in June 15th of this year, and it's through Normal Evangelion Diaboli is the label. I'm assuming I'm saying that. It's a Swedish black metal band. Back in '93, they did 3 full albums, 3 EPs, and then they did a compilation box set. The only guy who's the original member is Mortis from Marduk. I don't even know how to say his name. Ariel. Sorry, I choked there. But anyway,
Sweet.
my favorite track is the very first track in Nomine Domini. It's as a
rad,
guitar
man.
player, I fucking loved it. I loved how it comes in. I love how they play it. The album seems a little bit repetitive, like sound-wise. It does its... every track kind of like sounds like, oh, is this the same song? No, it's a little bit different. But that's the black metal that I really don't get into too much. I like it, but 2-3 songs I'm good. But it is really violent, really chaotic, and extremely heavy. So overall, I enjoyed that one as well. It was a good album. Thumbs up. Check it out and see what you think. But those are my 2 bands. Now to Big Nose.
Give it to us, brother. Give it to us.
I'm gonna go with the first band that was sent to me from Sean here. Band called Nasty Surgeons. When I say Nasty Surgeons. This band was amazing. As old school Carcass as you can possibly get.
Hold on. How old school are we talking?
We're talking necroticism.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
not the polished heartwork, but not Putrefaction.
Okay.
So in
Gotcha.
other words, they're pinnacle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and they were
Necrotism
Tools of the
is
Trade, Necrotism,
Yeah.
are some of their best work.
That's my favorite Carcass right there.
Absolutely.
They had some samples like Carcass, but it was just and it kind of seemed like I was going on a Carcass tribute with these guys. But for what's going on in the music world right now, these guys were precise, on point. Songs were not too long, not too short. No Cookie Monster. There was no breakdowns. It was just
No AAA needed.
no. It was.
Get that?
I
See what I did there?
Yeah, got it.
I loved this band so much. They're on Extreme Music. The album comes out. The album came out July 5th. Just a awesome band. I've been pushing for them to be on next year's Maryland Death Fest. I've been really pumping that name in there every time I get asked of who I would want to see there.
So disclaimer.
Abhorrent.
John
Ice
/
Picks.
Big Nose here actually has that kind of swing.
No, actually,
So-
I don't.
So if you want if you're in a metal band and you want your band to play Maryland Death Fest, reach out. His name is John
Big Nose.
No, I'm just kidding.
I only wish I had that kind. Nope. That's another program there in itself.
I mean, you
you
can
know
at least
those
reach
guys?
around.
No, I don't. I don't.
Do you know who it is? Does Frank?
No.
Can Frank find out
No,
who it is?
it's like a secret society, I swear, that is working 24/7 on all those different
The skulls.
all those different fests.
So I've
cock
got a
and
mission
balls.
for you. Can you maybe talk and find out who it is? Maybe we could get an interview.
Wait, you just asked if John could talk.
He can talk to somebody and find out.
Like, let me.
Yeah, John.
Dude,
come
put the
on.
feelers out.
I'll,
Because
I'll get my Inspector Clouseau.
I would love for us to be able to go down and sit down with those dudes and just
I would
talk
love
to them
to.
about the
I
whole
would love to.
process.
Gadget?
It's
Yes,
Yes.
but another band that I wanted to. Speaking of Death Fest, this year, Sean and Juan and I were down in Baltimore, Maryland, whatever you want to call it, Death Fest. And there was a stand
No, that's
there.
what it's called.
Yes, I know, but that's where we were.
That's
where I found
literally
it.
what it's called.
I think it is.
That's literally what it's called.
I walked by one of the vendors and they had a Sabat shirt, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is great! I want this." And if you bought a shirt, you got a CD of the record label that was selling these shirts. And the band that I reviewed was this band called Wrath of Typhon. My band have played with them a few times. They're from the York Lancaster-ish area.
I was just gonna say. I thought they were.
Yes.
Is a
They-
fella named L. What's his name? Shit.
But they also have another band called crap, I can't. It lost me. But they
Something with wolf in it.
no.
Okay.
It will come to me like later on tonight. It's kind of like the new European metal, like Nightfall and all that kind of stuff with a chick singer and another, Lacuna Coil-ish kind of. But anyway, this band here is a very thrash band. I didn't know they got signed to this label. The album was amazing. The production value of it, and I'm not saying that because I kind of know these guys. I'm gonna say something bad about them live. They need another guitarist because they go into a solo and the bottom drops out.
And what's the name of the band again? I'm
Wrath
sorry.
of Typhon,
Wrath of Typhon.
and
actually really-
the album's
they are
called
really
Kingdom of
I know
Fear,
who they are.
and it's on Lost Apparitions Records, and I believe the album is out already. The other thing that I have to say, and if they do happen to listen to this, and I've told them this many a times, put some goddamn chains on your damn singer so he stays on the damn stage.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. I like interaction.
Well, no. He interacts very well, but he runs off the stage like he'll use a wireless and like hide under tables.
Neat.
Well, that's their gig.
Neat.
Yeah, he'll run everywhere. And he doesn't sit still. I'm all for going crazy on stage.
John, you're like, no offense, you're like 100 years old. I get it why you stay in one spot when you're singing, brother.
No, I don't. That's the problem.
No, John's actually a great frontman. No, I see what you're. I'm not gonna totally shit on what you're saying, but what, like, let me offer another point of view. that kind of shit to me, that's the kind of shit that I'm like, fuck yeah, where is this dude? Let me find it.
Okay.
Hey, you
Yeah,
know what
as,
I mean?
as a spectator, that's like
Right.
I mean, it's
but
something
I also
different.
see what you're saying. If you're trying to take in the whole band, it's distracting to take in the whole band when you're like, hey, where the fuck is the singer at?
If they were playing like let's go back to St. Vitus here, and the place is packed, he's stage diving left and right and just keeps going. Man, I would have no problem with that. But when you're hiding underneath tables and it's just like, does this guy
Mike
have
Speedway, if you're listening, do not get any fucking ideas.
Yeah,
about
I don't
how
know.
to
Listen, if
I
use
he has the
tables.
space to go to tables, was the place not packed?
I was gonna say,
Oh, no, it was
is
a-
Peekaboo really a game you should be playing while
Yeah.
you're singing?
It wasn't a very packed
Maybe.
show.
That's right. So maybe he's like, "Fuck it, dude. I'm
you
gonna
judging?
hide around and do
You
whatever."
judging?
Yeah, I am.
You
But
judging?
those
I'm
are
a
the two
judger.
I have. Let's move on. I think
That's if
So
we
to
move
sum
on,
it
that's
up-
it.
We had Alms from Baltimore, killer. Abhorrence, check them out. Faust Coven,
Loved it.
just loved it.
And Funeral Mist.
Just, oh,
That's that
that's
means it's
Juan
good.
talk. I love it.
I
And,
really
and
dug
what were
it.
your two again?
I did Wrath of Typhon.
Uh huh.
On oh crap, I put my notes down. Lost Apparition Records. Good, clean fun, and Nasty Surgeons on Extreme Music.
And I will make sure links to these bands get posted up on the Facebook
nasty
page so you can check them out.
I've done a bunch more, but on time purposes,
Well, I mean,
I did do this one black metal band. I won't even. It was just so bad. It was
Bro,
so
which one
bad.
is that? Pull it up.
Hold on, let me grab.
Yeah,
here we go.
Oh,
I listened about 5 minutes. I was like, I don't know, let Big Nose do this one.
Was it Divination?
no, it. I know I spelled this right,
That
but
was
Bob,
good.
can you help me? Pavision.
Pavagen.
Okay.
And that's polishing the fuck out of
Why I
what
sent it to him.
I just saw.
It's terrible.
My
don't
review
know if
as
it's
I wrote
English or
this
not.
down was I've never heard something so bad. Around the 4 minute and 30-second mark, it sounded a little like it was going to end, but the
But it
song kept
didn't.
on going. This was black metal that sounded like it was recorded on a boombox. This is
Isn't that how black metal's supposed to
Which,
sound?
yeah,
though?
I was gonna say, in all fairness, that's how
Yeah,
it all
it's
got
supposed to
started.
sound that way.
That's
but
kind of why
Maybe they're
it's not
going
my
back to the
favorite type of music.
roots.
you know what? Fuck you. It's 2018. Make it the right way.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah,
revolutionary
John,
when it
get-
first came
Kelsey,
out.
really
That it's kind of
You know
worn
what?
off a bit.
You know,
I mean,
quit trying to sound so goddamn evil and put a little work into your goddamn craft.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Wow.
Dark Throne's one of my favorite bands. I love them.
Yeah, but it's black metal. They're supposed to be fucking
That's
evil.
yeah.
Right, but
and
you're supposed to at least
dude, low
They're like, listen, sniff
some
some flowers and jam some metal.
you know,
lo-fi.
Rainbow metal.
Put the devil aside.
No, I'm all for that original black metal sound, but when it just literally sounds like
No, I agree. There's a point where it gets too far. It's
and
just,
how do you ask someone to review that? I mean, seriously, it just
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I mean, I know some. You know, I'm friends with some people who are like, that's all their shit is black metal,
Ugh.
and like, dude, you ride around in a car with them, and that's all you hear, and that's
you
but
get a little demented until you
that's
get
what
out of
they're
the
into.
fucking car.
That's it.
I do
yeah,
I
that's
do I do
which
like
is
more
cool.
to
But at the end of the day,
That's your thing,
Ain't you ever heard of Burzum?
yes. But
Let's find out.
the fact that maybe somebody might like it.
you know what? Somebody might, and I wish them the best. And it's just hey, okay. Bottom line, it's not my thing.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
To each their own.
I'm sure there's somebody that says, "Dude, Fatal Aggression sucks."
I'm sure
Somebody.
there's 3 people in this room that will probably
I
say
was gonna
that.
say, matter of fact, I remember reviewing the fatal aggression demo.
Wait a minute.
Because
3
we
out of
wouldn't
the
let-
4
we
would
wouldn't
say
let-
that, and
hold
Sean
on.
actually likes them.
Yeah, I do like them.
That's fucked up.
I kind of forgot that Sean liked it.
I believe
Now in
I
serious,
reviewed-
no, we
I reviewed
Well, no, I like
a
Rich
Fatal
Ross
Aggression
singing,
demo back in the day for our zine
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we wouldn't let you do it because we knew you were
this was-
biased.
This was before I was in Fatal Aggression.
And BN was very biased, so they let me review it. You're never even if you're not in the band, you're never allowed to review their stuff because yeah, we know how you feel about it. We know how you felt about that band from the word go. And
Well,
I respect it, but
not
you're just
to-
not
not
allowed to
to-
review their music.
Not to give my whole story of that band me and a friend
Yeah,
of mine
please don't.
that passed away many years ago. we were just walking down the street, and we used to have
we're getting it anyway.
We used to have this big boom box, and we'd just listen to metal and just bang our heads. And out of nowhere comes this guy with long hair, runs up to us, hands us a cassette tape, and goes, "Here, check my band out." And gone he is.
Is that Rich?
No, it was Sean McCullough. And we're like, all right, so we put the tape in, and we're walking around, and we're like, oh, damn, there's a more history of Berks County. Wow, there's a thrash metal band that's not Craze.
Craze is really good, though.
So we're like, holy shit. We're checking them out, and my friend Rob, who passed away, he says, I think I go to school with that guy. Yeah, all right. So here, a couple months later, Craze and Fatal were playing together, and we're just like, holy shit, this was like Slayer and Metallica playing a show together in 1980, whatever this was. And from that moment on, I loved that band.
Fair enough. And we
We don't have video on the show for a reason.
And we can say with certainty he does love that band. Not does currently.
I gotta admit, I was a fan too. But again, I went to school with Rich Roth and Pete.
I got no problem
with
with it. I've never had a problem with it. It was just always the it was how in love, with certain people with it. And to be perfectly honest, this is just me being 1,000% honest. I was a KKI guy, dude. You know what I mean?
That was let's go back to.
I was a KKI guy. Like if you had to give, and that, when I got into the scene, that was the two big thrash bands. Dude. It was KKI. Fatal.
KKI was like the violence of the local scene.
Dude. I mean, and
Fatal
being a
was-
drummer, and being a drummer,
right.
Jay Foose, and we're gonna drop another name there.
Concussion was the
Jay
dirtier...
Foose. If you don't know, like beyond John sitting here,
And
who's
the
a big
bass player,
influence
you
on
gotta
me.
give props to fucking
Fucking
Denser,
Bob
dude. He
Denser,
was
man.
amazing.
I mean, the whole band was really good. I mean, Bob, Jay, Toad, and Garson.
Yep.
I mean, those dudes. I was 13, 14 years old, and these dudes were basically like fucking Metallica, or like at that point, like probably Sepultura. In my mind, like
Here's a really funny story for you guys that you're not gonna believe me when I say this.
I will.
I don't believe it already.
3 years ago, I believe it was. I believe it was about 3 years ago. Fatal didn't have a bass player, and Petey's calling up, going, "Hey, I'm calling Bob. I'm calling Bob."
How many times have people said that though? I'm calling Denser. I'm calling Bob, and they ain't even talking about this Bob who's sitting here talking to you. They're talking about Bob Denser.
The Bob.
Bob shows up to practice. Actually, Bob meets me at Berkshire Heights Fire Company, rides to practice with us, plugs in, and we did Shortest Straw, Practice What You Preach, a couple other well-known cover songs, and man, did that sound amazing.
Those
that was just it was a really good gelling together.
What happened?
It was one of those things that I really don't want to get into.
Fair enough. But I wish you would.
It was something that it wasn't going to work out. We had fun that one practice, but when you sit back and look at it, it wasn't gonna work.
Isn't that the story of our scene, or of our local scene in a nutshell, right there? Again, the people, the all of these musicians that we speak of, that isn't us, or John and I or Juan. Again, what I said at the beginning of this pod, when we touched on the local scene, we have the talent. There's nothing wrong with the talent pool. It's personalities,
right?
And that will be. And I don't think we're unique in any way. I think a lot of the local scenes, that's what holds a lot of the smaller local scenes back. Is you get a couple guys who it becomes evident to them that they are the pinnacle or the cream of the crop or whatever. And it goes to their personality. It goes to their head, yeah. And unfortunately, like I say, if you're local and you hear these names and you're like, I know these motherfuckers, and listen to them talking shit on. No, I ain't talking shit. It's just being honest. And if you're gonna be honest, if you know who I am, I'm honest to a fault. I've been beaten for it. I've been ostracized for it. I really don't care. I'm too old to give a fuck, and I say what I feel. I say what I feel is right and what I mean for sure. But the people, our local scene, we were our own worst enemy.
Yeah, we were
at all times, and myself included. I shot myself. There are many bands that I could have went very far with. I was very fortunate. Even the Juan sitting here across from me, one of the best guitar players that I've ever had the pleasure to jam with. as a young guy, I was jamming with these guys who were 2 to 5 years older than me, and man, boy, did you guys make me what I became behind drums today. But that also went to my head. I was like, here I am, 14, jamming with these dudes who can buy me, these dudes are taking me to a bar, bro. I go into school the next day, like literally like 9th, 10th grade, hungover from being at a bar with some shitbag metalheads from the night before that I was in a
This is
band
what
with.
Fatal Aggression did to me.
Right.
So,
It wasn't us. It was John.
It's
John
all
got everybody
John
drunk.
Shearer. John
but-
Shearer.
but shout out to Borderside, the only band to have a Mickey's party in the parking lot Unisound and tell Jake to fuck himself. And get away with it.
but
Dude,
going back,
the Hornet stings all.
going back to our Berks County scene here, there is a band from Berks County right now that is just kicking ass, taking names, are huge. I don't know how the rest of you in this room feel about Rivers of
Oh
Nile.
my god.
yeah.
Dude, you
I was gonna
serious,
say,
dude?
I
was
love
gonna
those
say,
guys.
Wait,
They're like
who are they?
they're like my little
What's this
brothers.
band you speak of?
I talked to Biggs a few times, and I'm not patting myself on the back when he told me this, because it really melted my heart. It's like what you just said about us was, Biggs says, hey, I went to see Divination at the Silo, and we blew it was us and Cannibal Corpse, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh my God, there's a band in our town that plays this music I love. And here him and Brody put a band together. They bounced from different band to different band, and they made Rivers of the Nile.
Are
And
those some of the guys from Lit Golden Sky?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay. I know there's some dudes who are in the Rivers of the Nile that I mean I've dealt with personally. But yeah, it's humbling. It's
Yes,
humbling
it
as fuck
was
now,
so.
isn't it?
And Andy Thomas from Black Crown
I was just
Initiative.
gonna say, don't forget Black Crown.
Oh
Initiative,
no!
dude.
I
It's-
can't forget Andy.
See, these are the locals that didn't succumb to the
Yeah,
bullshit and made it out of our
And
area.
you know the fun part about it was they snuck under the radar so low. Like Black Crown, I didn't know who they were until they're signed. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Andy Thomas. I was like, holy!
But those guys weren't doing a lot of local shows, were they? They were playing.
They were
more
playing
out of
state. They did.
and stuff, weren't they?
Which
Bob,
is-
as we've done,
But
we
before
know
we get-
this.
Your
they did
brother
the right
knows
thing.
him, right?
Yeah, well, I
They went
mean,
to
I mean, not to, but my band, American Speedway, we rarely play local, and there's a reason for it. I mean, it's not because we don't want to. The benefit isn't there, and when you start playing local too much, you become too involved in the scene, in the local scene. Now, my band is not technically based out of Berks County. I'm the only member in my band who's from this area. The rest of my band is from closer to the Philadelphia area,
Well, they were on Pottstown, right?
farther south than that.
further south.
Yeah, like definitely
Collegeville.
Collegeville, Royersford area, Westchester. Our bass players from Westchester. So, but I mean, it like I said, if my son, if my newest addition to my family hadn't come early, I wouldn't be able to do. We would have done the initial recording date of this. And this weekend I would be in North Carolina at I'm going to plug their show, Heavy Rebel Weekender. If you're into rockabilly, punk rock, that kind of stuff, and pre-1960 automobiles, go check that. They do it once a year. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. They shut down a couple city blocks, and you're going to see more wicked cool cars. You're going to hear some of the best talent, some of the best bands in that rock and roll, rockabilly type style, that vein of music. But I wouldn't even be here right now. I'd be down there playing because, like I said, it's not. And we touched on it. Our local scene is we don't have a whole bunch of places to play. A band like mine, we don't get clubs. We get bars. So what do we got? Homers.
That's what Fatal
Homers
has done.
in Fleetwood, and I'll plug them because Homers is a
good old
a fucking hole in the wall.
Yeah.
But you know what? They support local music,
Yes,
and
they
I'll
do.
give them that.
We just played there 2 weeks, 3
Right,
weeks ago,
right.
and it was one of the most amazing shows that I've ever played.
Yeah.
because they
Unfortunately, I could not make it to that because of child stuff.
The
But
people that were there just gave it back to you. and
fuck
it
yeah,
was-
man! I mean, you're on the floor with them.
Yeah.
It's not like you're separated by a giant stage or you're literally on the floor with them.
Yeah,
And there's no like there's not stacks of sound equipment. It's literally
Well,
like
yeah,
a
there
PA
was.
Well, that's you guys.
Yes.
I mean, and
We're the
then in all
motorhead.
fairness, if you look at the equipment my band rolls in there, it looks like there's stacks of equipment. It's just my guitar player's amps.
We brought 3 stacks.
That's foolish for that place. Man, they
You
heard.
might as well break a few eardrums if you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Right?
but I get it. Hey man, you roll out like that. That's how you do it. But yeah, to go back to Black Crown, you want to the local scenes and not just Berks County, but Montgomery County,
Lehigh.
Lancaster is its own thing. Lehigh's another one. It's okay, but if you want to be noticed and you want to stay out of the bullshit, you don't play your local.
Right.
And if anybody local is listening, maybe you could say fuck you. I know who you are talking right now, and that's fair too. But
if you want to, just play once in a while, not
indeed. That's kind of what
Right.
what my band has like. Hey, we'll do a local like twice a year. That's literally probably it. Or like, if somebody's having a birthday party, we'll do their party. Like
Schuylkill County up at St. Clair.
that's a whole nother breed up there.
Yeah,
now,
it
ain't
is.
John. Ain't it?
I have to say, to the Coal Mine Tap Room, man,
There you go.
that it's like Unisound but smaller, and she has so many bands, and it's some are really good. I know I'm gonna get hell for this, but some of them are.
No,
But-
you're being
No,
honest.
you guys,
man. You
Fatal
got-
plays there all the time. Social
be
Coma
honest.
plays
Yeah.
there all the time. I mean, there's a ton
But
of other bands. that
it's
play
I'm
there all
trying
the
to
time.
talk my band into going up with Fatal because I think
Oh, that'd be great.
I think the local clientele up that way would really appreciate what my band does. But
Yeah.
in all honesty, and if anybody from my band listen, I'm just being honest. What you all have said is, we're not going up there. And I'm like, well, suit your fucking
Oh, I
self.
think that'd be heaven for you guys.
Oh my
That's
God,
what
they would-
I tried to
think those
explain
dudes
to
would
them.
eat you guys up,
Just
man.
like-
And in a good way. I don't mean like
Yeah,
that's
no,
that's what they
exactly.
do with us,
And,
man.
and I'll be honest, like, dude,
They love their older
we
music.
did.
up there.
We played in February. Well, it ended up being March because of a snow date postponement.
Okay.
I was at my band and John's band, Fatal Aggression. We're supposed to play a benefit show for I belong to a club, and a club member had fell on some hard times, and we did a little bit of a benefit for him and his loved ones, and the locals at Homer's, they've never seen my band, but we've been asked back to play. Again, sorry to hang my band out to dry, but they're like, what the fuck do we want to go back there for? And I'm like, well, if you're asked to come back,
Yeah, if you're asked to go back, man, that's
if
just
you're asked to come back,
it's an honor just to be able to play a show.
Exactly, and
So-
and that to me, that's not like, hey, we're not like, hey, you want to book a show? But
So why don't you go ahead and plug your band and
I
tell me
think
where
I
we
have
can
been-
find out. Go ahead and give
I have
your
been
name.
I've said it a couple times. American Speedway. We have two LPs out. One's called A Bigger Boat. One's called Ship of Fools. That would be the first one. It's on Prophase Records for now. Currently, we're
I know it's on Apple Music.
Apple, Google. It's pretty much anywhere. There are you could buy LP copies. If you're lucky, you can find CD copies. Those are harder to find than the vinyl. Believe it or not.
I got one.
Well, it's because people.
I think I see one of the young ones.
CD?
Yeah, I think I saw
Oh,
one of the young ones.
Grab that because they're tough to
Facebook
find.
page.
We do. It's American Speedway on Facebook. Look us up. You see my shithead face there. You can put a face to the voice.
You can
Well,
also
we-
see the picture on
you
on
also
our
got a
page.
picture
too.
on our
Indeed.
page.
Yep. That would I'd be the guy without. Oh no, you ain't got no hair either.
Yeah, we both have hats on though, so that's kind of
I was gonna say
a moot point.
and glasses.
You're
Fuck.
the one with the one with the big the plugs in your ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
regardless,
tattoos.
if you're into fast-paced rock and roll, like I said, a la Motorhead, maybe. I really thank you guys. I mean, when people compare your band to when they say you remind me of Motorhead, that's
Just
I don't
dirty
know if it
rock
gets-
and roll.
yeah, that's the best way to describe it. We are filthy, disgusting.
You don't smell bad, though.
Fast-paced rock and roll, and
Good shit.
we're currently
shit,
writing a
I
new
was-
record. We got about 6 songs in the can. We, a couple more in the works. So, obviously through this venue, I will keep you posted. And if you hear this and you like, go check out the band page. We'll obviously keep you posted on there. Thanks, man.
John?
Check it out.
Fatal Aggression. We're basically as DIY as it can possibly be.
Good stuff.
We, like you were saying about DIY, we have CDs, cassette tapes from 30 years back.
Think Exodus.
Yeah,
The current stuff, think Exodus.
very
And if you-
Exodus influenced.
That's good.
You can find us on YouTube. There's a couple live songs. Actually, there's a couple us covering Exodus. In the meantime, there is some stuff from our last CD called Evolution. You can get that through us at shows and a plethora of T-shirts.
Really?
Yeah, we have
Facebook page, you mean?
Yeah, Facebook page is what is it? Facebook.com/Fatal Aggression.
Wow, he knows the fancy version. I'm just like going Facebook and fucking punching American Speedway.
I kind of remembered it.
I don't remember.
Next
all that
up,
stuff.
Juan. Why don't you go ahead and plug your business?
I run Creative Vibes Tattoo Studio with
Fuck.
my wife.
Yeah, he
And
does.
Awesome
you can
place.
find us on Facebook, Creative Vibes Tattoos, and you can find us on Instagram, Creative Vibes
I'm gonna say
Tattoo.
everybody minus himself, and I'm sure you've tattooed yourself at some
yeah.
point. So everybody sitting in a room has been touched by
But
this
you know,
gentleman.
if you're local, stop by, check us out.
And honestly, they've had
tattooed.
people come from all over the world.
Yeah, I was gonna say even if you're not local,
I've had my in-laws come from Scotland just to get tattooed from Juan. I mean, and you have a whole list of people you've tattooed from all over the world.
Satan came by once.
I was there.
Satan, yeah.
It's true. It
was a little warm.
It ain't no joke.
Came north.
So
A little warm. Had to wear sunglasses that day.
I was just gonna say the sunglasses are required.
and
I didn't find it
we
warm at
can't.
all, but
Like all the guys sitting here at this table cannot plug this tattoo shop
Yeah, man.
enough. Like
No.
Juan has and I have tattoos from Juan and his wife. So
I'm working
I
on
just,
his wife.
I don't have any from his
Kirsten's
wife
an
yet.
amazing tattooist as well.
Listen, let's just say this: Juan and his wife are amazing human beings, and if you want to feel good, if you want to feel good while you get tattooed and feel comfortable,
Yes.
come see
Oh, yes.
you don't. It's I've been to plenty of shops where the artistic talent is there, but you feel
like a dick.
or you just
You
feel
just
uncomfortable.
Don't,
It's
yeah,
not,
you don't
it's not
feel you
like-
don't feel like you belong.
right, or you can't relax fully,
Right.
and get in that mood of getting drilled for an hour or two.
The,
No,
the
Juan
one-
and-
and
You'll feel like family when you go to.
yeah, you feel like your family. The
And
one
that
thing
makes-
that I love when he does tattoos is if you're sitting there like just going, no, this is gonna hurt, this is gonna hurt. He will do some kind of weird noise and make your ass laugh. Can I get 5 seconds on this one?
It's just weird how his wife always wears dresses while she tattoos.
Yeah,
right?
That's a bit strange, but
An ex-girlfriend of mine got one, and she was sitting literally like this. So Juan's like, and he takes he does the stencil a little bit, and also he takes the rag. Instead of like squirting it, he's going, and she damn near ran out the goddamn shop. The fun part about this was, she knew what was going to happen, but she was that scared.
I was gonna say if she
And then
was
from
dating
that-
you, she has to know this dude.
Then from after that,
That's great.
After that, she was like, "Oh, when we going back to Wands again? When we going back to Wands again?" And we broke up.
Nice, good story, John.
Funny story was that same girl sold my wife a car.
way to lower the tone there, John. Way to
That's
lower
weird.
the tone.
Well, anyway,
Yeah, that
So-
was kind of. No, Juan does
To
not
kind of
beat
sum
off
that all
behind you.
up for everybody, Bob plays drums for American Speedway. Check him out. You won't be disappointed. If you're a big Motorhead fan or basically any kind of like heavier punk, hardcore, check it out. John sings for Fatal Aggression. Check them out. You can find them on Facebook as well. Juan's Creative Vibes, Facebook. Amazing.
It is amazing.
Me,
It is.
I don't do shit. So,
You run a podcast now.
yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, literally.
you run a podcast now, buddy.
You run a podcast.
You brought this all
I
together.
run a circus. So,
That you do.
if you
You
want to
better
look
get a
for
whip
us,
for me.
huh?
You better get a whip for
Yeah.
me. It's the only way you can't stop me. You can only hope to contain me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. What are you saying?
Better learn it.
Let's find out.
No, check it out.
Sorry, I can't help it. That's my Varg Vikernes impersonation. Check it out. Let's find out.
So as we're
Did I really kill him? Let's find out.
No, he admits it. He Go on YouTube.
Oh, he does?
Dude, constantly. He tells the whole story about it.
I'm afraid to watch his videos on YouTube
I know, 'cause I
I'm
don't-
pretty sure you end up on a list of the
Yeah,
people
I
that
don't know.
watch.
Oh,
it.
dude, they're
That's just-
amazing, dude. They're great. You gotta watch them. They're
Great. We're gonna be
Every
doing
single one
the
starts-
next show. We're gonna be sitting here, and all of a sudden you're here, swarm, 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 and there's gonna be FBI
Hell,
flying
you
through the
notice
windows.
every single video starts with "Did I kill Euronymous? Let's find out." That's how it starts. I'm telling you, watch
I
it.
do like that. I do
So
like
anyway, so that's us. You can find us on Facebook at Metal Beer and BS. We also have an email address at metalbeerandbs@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. Let us know what you think. And thanks for listening. We
Fuck yeah.
appreciate it. And
In the immortal words of Ricky Rackman,
Keep 1 foot in the gutter and 1 foot in the gold.
we'll talk to you guys next time.